In a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a legend of a magical compass that could lead its bearer to their heart's deepest desire. The compass was said to be hidden in the heart of the Whispering Woods, a place known for its elusive nature and enchanted creatures. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted young boy named Finn. Finn had always dreamed of exploring the world beyond his village, but his family's modest means kept him close to home. One day, Finn stumbled upon an old, dusty map in the attic of his family's cottage. The map had strange markings and led to a place called the Whispering Woods. Excited by the possibility of adventure, Finn decided to follow the map in hopes of finding the enchanted compass. As Finn set off on his journey, the village elder gave him a piece of advice: the Whispering Woods is a place of both wonder and challenge. To find the compass, you must follow your heart and trust in the kindness of others. With the elder's words in mind, Finn entered the Whispering Woods. The trees towered high above him, their leaves rustling softly as if whispering secrets. The path was winding and seemed to change with every step, but Finn kept his eyes on the map and his heart open to the magic around him. After walking for hours, Finn came across a clearing where a majestic, ancient oak tree stood. The tree's bark was covered in intricate carvings of animals and stars, and its branches seemed to reach out towards him. As Finn approached, he heard a soft, melodic humming coming from the tree. The tree spoke in a gentle voice: to find the compass, you must first solve the riddle of the Whispering Woods. Finn listened carefully as the tree continued: I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I do not have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Finn thought hard about the riddle. After a moment, he answered: a fire. The tree's branches swayed, and a hidden door in its trunk opened, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Finn descended the staircase. At the bottom, he found himself in a beautiful underground cavern filled with glowing crystals and shimmering pools. In the center of the cavern was a pedestal with a golden compass resting on it. The compass had an ornate design and a glass cover that sparkled with an ethereal light. As Finn approached the compass, he noticed a gentle voice speaking from the shadows. A fairy with delicate wings and a shimmering gown emerged. Her name was Lyra, and she was the guardian of the enchanted compass. The compass you seek is indeed magical, Lyra said. But it can only be used by someone with a pure heart and noble intentions. To prove yourself worthy, you must perform an act of kindness in this enchanted realm. Finn looked around the cavern and saw a small, injured creature, a tiny dragon with iridescent scales and a wounded wing. Without hesitation, Finn gently picked up the dragon and examined its injury. Using the herbs and salves he had brought with him, he carefully tended to the dragon's wound. As Finn worked, the dragon's scales began to glow softly, and its breathing became steady. When Finn was finished, the dragon looked up at him with grateful eyes. Lyra, watching the scene, smiled warmly. You have shown great compassion and kindness. The compass is yours to use. The fairy handed Finn the enchanted compass. As he held it, the compass began to glow brightly, and its needle swung around until it pointed towards the north. Finn knew that this was the direction he needed to follow. With the compass guiding him, Finn made his way out of the cavern and back to the surface. As he walked, he found that the compass led him to various hidden wonders of the Whispering Woods, sparkling streams, magical blades, and friendly creatures. Each discovery brought him joy and a deeper appreciation for the magic of the world around him. After a long journey, Finn arrived at a breathtaking viewpoint overlooking the vast landscape beyond his village. The compass had led him to a place where he could see the beauty and adventure that lay ahead. Finn realized that his heart's deepest desire was not just to explore the world, but to share its wonders with others. With this newfound understanding, Finn returned to his village with stories of his adventure and the magical compass. He used the compass to help guide others on their own journeys, teaching them about the importance of kindness, curiosity, and the magic that exists in every corner of the world. And so, the legend of the enchanted compass lived on, inspiring many to follow their hearts and discover the magic within themselves. Finn's adventure became a cherished tale, reminding everyone that sometimes, The true magic lies in the kindness we show and the wonders we share with those around us. Once upon a time, in the heart of the enchanted kingdom of Eldoria, there was a quaint village named Fairhaven. Fairhaven was known for its sparkling rivers, lush meadows, and a magnificent old oak tree at its center. The villagers believed that this oak tree was blessed with magical properties, and its branches were said to whisper secrets of old. In Fairhaven lived a young woman named Lila, known for her kindness and curiosity. Lila was especially fascinated by an old family heirloom, a moonlit locket that had been passed down through generations. The locket was rumored to hold a secret that could only be revealed under the light of the full moon. One night, as the full moon cast its silvery glow over Fairhaven, Lila decided to unlock the mystery of the locket. She had always felt a mysterious pull towards it, sensing that it held something important. With the moonlight guiding her, she set out on an adventure to uncover its secret. As she walked through the village square, the moonlight seemed to shine brighter, guiding her towards the ancient oak tree. The tree's branches swayed gently in the breeze, and its leaves rustled as if whispering secrets. At the base of the oak, Lila noticed a faint, shimmering light emanating from a hidden hollow. Curious, Lila reached into the hollow and discovered a small, intricately carved wooden box. The box had a golden keyhole, and the locket seemed to fit perfectly into it. With a mix of excitement and nervousness, Lila placed the locket into the keyhole, and the box opened with a soft click. Inside the box was a delicate map, adorned with celestial symbols and strange markings. The map seemed to lead to a hidden location deep within the enchanted forest. Determined to follow the map's guidance, Lila set out, accompanied by her loyal companion, a wise old owl named Orion. The enchanted forest was known for its magical creatures and mystical challenges. As Lila and Orion ventured deeper, they encountered their first challenge, a shimmering river guarded by a graceful water nymph. To cross this river, the nymph said, "You must answer my riddle. What has keys but cannot open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but not go inside?" Lila pondered the riddle and then answered, "A piano." The water nymph smiled and waved her hand, creating a bridge of sparkling water for Lila and Orion to cross. They continued on their journey and soon arrived at a clearing where a majestic unicorn stood beside a hidden cave entrance. The unicorn, with eyes like pools of stardust, spoke softly, "To enter the cave, you must show bravery. Inside, you will find what you seek, but only if you face your deepest fear." With a deep breath, Lila entered the cave. Inside, the shadows danced and flickered, creating eerie shapes. Lila's heart raced, but she remembered her grandmother's words about courage being the light in the dark. She took steady steps and soon reached the end of the cave, where a soft, glowing light awaited her. At the cave's end, Lila found a pedestal holding an ornate, ancient book. The book was bound in celestial blue leather and adorned with the same symbols as the map. She carefully opened the book, revealing a series of ancient texts and illustrations. As she read, Lila discovered that the book contained the history of her family and the origin of the moonlit locket. The locket was a key to a hidden treasure, but more importantly, it was a symbol of her family's legacy of wisdom and kindness. The treasure was not gold or jewels, but the knowledge and values that had been passed down through the generations. With the book in hand, Lila returned to Fairhaven. She shared the story of her adventure with the villagers, revealing the true meaning of the moonlit locket. The villagers celebrated, recognizing the importance of the values that the locket symbolized: courage, wisdom, and kindness. The oak tree in the village square seemed to glow with newfound magic, and the whispers in its branches carried tales of Lila's bravery. The moonlit locket, now a cherished symbol of her family's legacy, was passed down with a renewed sense of purpose. And so, Fairhaven continued to thrive under the light of the full moon, its people guided by the values of wisdom and kindness that Lila had discovered. The tale of the moonlit locket became a beloved story, reminding all who heard it of the true treasures that lie within. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Luminera, nestled at the edge of a dense, ancient forest, there lived a young girl named Stella. Stella was known for her kind heart and her love for the night sky. Every evening, she would sit by the window, gazing at the stars and dreaming of adventures beyond the horizon. One fateful night, as Stella watched the sky, a brilliant streak of light shot across the heavens and landed somewhere deep within the forest. Curious and feeling an inexplicable pull, Stella decided to investigate. She packed a small bag with essentials and, under the cover of the moonlight, ventured into the forest. The forest was dark and mysterious, with shadows dancing between the trees. Stella's heart pounded with a mix of fear and excitement. She followed the faint glow that seemed to beckon her deeper into the woods. After a while, she stumbled upon a clearing where the light was brightest. There, she found a shimmering, blue stone nestled in the grass. As she picked it up, it pulsed with warmth and energy. Suddenly, a soft, musical voice filled the air. "You have found the Starstone," said the voice. "I am Luna, the Moon Guardian. This stone holds the power to restore balance to our world, but it has been stolen by the dark sorcerer who resides in the Shadow Mountain. You, Stella, have been chosen to return it to its rightful place." Determined to help, Stella agreed to take on the quest. Luna bestowed upon her a small, silver pendant in the shape of a crescent moon. "This will guide you and protect you on your journey," she said. As Stella set out towards Shadow Mountain, she was joined by a wise and gentle owl named Orion. "I will help you navigate through the forest and the challenges ahead," he hooted. Together, they traveled through the enchanted forest, braving thorny underbrush and crossing treacherous rivers. One evening, as they rested by a crystal-clear stream, they were approached by a sleek, silver wolf named Lyra. "I have heard of your quest," she said. "The path ahead is perilous, but I will lend you my strength and knowledge of the mountain." With Orion and Lyra by her side, Stella felt more confident. They continued their journey, facing numerous trials. They passed through the Whispering Caves, where voices of lost travelers tried to lead them astray, and climbed the steep, icy slopes of Shadow Mountain. Finally, they reached the Dark Sorcerer's lair, a fortress carved into the mountain itself. The air was thick with dark magic, and the entrance was guarded by fearsome creatures. Drawing upon their combined courage, Stella, Orion, and Lyra approached the gate. Using the power of the Starstone, Stella illuminated the fortress with a brilliant light, dispelling the shadows and weakening the Dark Sorcerer's magic. They confronted the sorcerer, a tall figure cloaked in darkness, with eyes that glowed like embers. "You cannot defeat me," the sorcerer hissed. "The darkness will always prevail." But Stella, holding the Starstone high, replied with determination, "Light and hope will always find a way." The Starstone's light grew brighter, forcing the sorcerer to retreat. With one final burst of energy, the stone shattered the sorcerer's dark magic, breaking his hold over the land. The fortress crumbled, and the sorcerer vanished into the night. With the sorcerer defeated, Stella placed the Starstone in its rightful place atop the mountain. The sky cleared, revealing a dazzling array of stars, brighter than ever before. The balance was restored, and the land of Luminera flourished once again. Stella, Orion, and Lyra returned to the village as heroes. The villagers celebrated their bravery and welcomed them with open arms. The moon shone brightly, and Luna's voice echoed in Stella's heart, thanking her for her courage and kindness. From that day on, Stella's name was remembered as a legend, a beacon of hope and light. She continued to explore the world, always guided by the stars and the wisdom of her loyal friends. And so, Stella lived a life full of adventure and wonder, under the watchful eyes of the moon and stars. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a charming village named Riverton. The village was known for its sparkling river, which meandered through the valley, and its friendly, hard-working people. However, beyond the mountains, no one knew what lay hidden. Local legends spoke of a hidden kingdom that could only be reached by crossing a bridge made of silver that appeared only once every 100 years. In Riverton lived a young boy named Finn, who was curious and adventurous. He had grown up listening to tales of the Hidden Kingdom, a magical realm filled with wondrous creatures and treasures beyond imagination. As the centennial of the Silver Bridge's appearance approached, Finn was determined to find it and uncover the mysteries of the Hidden Kingdom. On the eve of the centennial, Finn set out on his quest. He followed the river as it wound through the mountains, guided by the shimmering glow of the moonlight. As the night grew darker, Finn found himself at the base of the tallest mountain, where the path became steep and treacherous. Undeterred, he climbed steadily, his heart set on discovering the bridge. After hours of climbing, Finn reached a plateau where he saw a radiant, silver light shining through the mist. He pushed through the dense fog and emerged into a breathtaking scene. There, stretching across a deep chasm, was the silver bridge, its surface gleaming like the moonlit sky. As Finn stepped onto the bridge, he felt a sense of awe and excitement. The bridge swayed gently beneath his feet, and he could hear the soft, melodious hum of magic in the air. He walked slowly, savoring the moment, until he reached the other side. On the far side of the bridge, Finn entered a magnificent forest where the trees sparkled with a silvery sheen, and the flowers glowed with a gentle, otherworldly light. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, and the sound of laughter and music floated through the trees. Following the sounds, Finn arrived at the entrance of a grand palace made of crystal and gold. The palace was surrounded by a lush garden where fantastical creatures roamed freely. A group of elegant fairies fluttered around the garden, their wings shimmering like precious gems. A kind fairy queen named Lysandra welcomed Finn with a warm smile. "Welcome to the Hidden Kingdom, brave traveler. We have been expecting you. You are the first to cross the Silver Bridge in 100 years." Finn was astonished by the beauty and magic of the Hidden Kingdom. "I've heard so many stories about this place," he said. "I wanted to see if the tales were true." Queen Lysandra nodded. "Our kingdom is indeed as wondrous as the stories suggest. However, there is more to the Hidden Kingdom than what meets the eye. We have been facing a problem that only someone with a pure heart can help us solve." She led Finn to a chamber within the palace where a large, ancient tree stood. The tree's once lush leaves were now wilting, and its branches seemed to droop with sadness. "This is the heart tree," Lysandra explained. "It is the source of our kingdom's magic and vitality. However, it has been losing its magic because of a dark enchantment that has seeped into our land. We need someone to retrieve the starlight crystal from the depths of the enchanted cavern to restore the heart tree." Finn agreed to help, and the queen guided him to the entrance of the enchanted cavern. The cavern was a labyrinth of sparkling crystals and winding tunnels. Finn ventured inside, using his lantern to light the way. Along his journey, he encountered various magical creatures who offered him riddles and challenges. One of the creatures, a wise old dragon named Draconis, posed a riddle: "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but cannot go outside. What am I?" Finn thought deeply and then answered, "A piano." Draconis nodded in approval and handed Finn a glowing gem. "This will help you find the starlight crystal." With the gem's light guiding him, Finn continued through the cavern until he reached a large, shimmering pool. At the center of the pool, on a pedestal made of crystal, was the starlight crystal, radiating a soft, silver-blue light. Finn carefully retrieved the crystal and made his way back to the Hidden Kingdom. Returning to the heart tree, Finn placed the starlight crystal into a hollow in the tree's trunk. As the crystal's light mingled with the tree's magic, the heart tree began to rejuvenate. Its leaves unfurled, and its branches lifted, glowing with renewed vigor. The Hidden Kingdom was filled with joy and celebration. Queen Lysandra and her subjects thanked Finn for his bravery and selflessness. As a token of their gratitude, they gifted him a small vial of enchanted moonlight, which would allow him to visit the Hidden Kingdom whenever he wished. As Finn left the Hidden Kingdom and crossed the Silver Bridge back to his village, he felt a sense of fulfillment. The tales of the Hidden Kingdom were true, and he had played a part in preserving its magic. Back in Riverton, Finn shared his incredible adventure with his fellow villagers, and the story of the Hidden Kingdom became a cherished legend. The Silver Bridge and the Hidden Kingdom remained a symbol of hope and wonder, reminding everyone that magic and adventure await those with brave hearts and pure intentions. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush, green forest filled with the soft melodies of birds and the whisper of the wind, there lived a young girl named Elara. She had bright, curious eyes and a heart full of wonder. Elara lived in a cozy cottage with her grandmother, who often told her stories of magic and adventure. One sunny afternoon, while exploring the edge of the forest, Elara stumbled upon a hidden path she had never noticed before. The path was lined with sparkling pebbles that seemed to glow with a gentle light. Intrigued, Elara decided to follow it. The path wound through the trees, leading her to a magnificent, ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Elara opened the door and stepped inside. To her amazement, she found herself in a magical world where the trees were adorned with shimmering leaves and flowers danced in the air. A gentle, glowing fairy named Leora greeted her. "Welcome, Elara," Leora said with a warm smile. "I've been waiting for someone brave and kind-hearted to help us." Elara was puzzled. "Help with what?" Leora's expression grew serious. "Our beloved forest queen has been trapped in a spell by a mischievous sorcerer. Without her, our world is slowly losing its magic. We need someone with a pure heart to break the spell." Elara, feeling a surge of courage, agreed to help. Leora led her to a crystal-clear lake where a small boat awaited them. As they sailed across the lake, Leora explained that the sorcerer had hidden the key to the spell in a place where only someone truly kind could find it. The boat soon reached a small island covered in golden flowers. In the center of the island stood a grand pedestal with a shimmering key on top. But guarding the key was a grumpy, old troll named Grendel. Grendel grumbled, "To get the key, you must first make me smile. Only then will I give it to you." Elara thought for a moment and then began to tell Grendel a story about a clumsy dragon who accidentally helped a village by knocking over a giant boulder that had been blocking their water supply. The dragon's unintended heroism made Grendel chuckle, and soon he was laughing heartily. With a beaming smile, Grendel handed over the key. Elara and Leora returned to the enchanted oak tree and used the key to unlock a hidden chamber. Inside, the forest queen was trapped in a magical crystal. Elara took a deep breath and, with a pure heart, recited a special incantation Leora had taught her. The crystal shattered into a million sparkles, and the forest queen was freed. "Thank you, Elara," the forest queen said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "You have restored our magic and saved our world." As a token of gratitude, the forest queen granted Elara a special gift, a small, enchanted pendant that would allow her to visit the magical world anytime she wished. Elara hugged Leora and the forest queen goodbye and made her way back to her cottage. When she arrived home, she found her grandmother waiting with a knowing smile. Elara shared her adventure, and her grandmother listened with wonder. That night, as Elara drifted off to sleep, she clasped the pendant around her neck and smiled, knowing that the magical world was always just a heartbeat away. And so, Elara continued to live her days with a heart full of adventure and kindness, knowing that the magic of the forest would forever be a part of her. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was an enchanted forest. This forest was unlike any other, for it was filled with magical creatures and plants that shimmered with an ethereal glow. The heart of the forest was home to an ancient and wise tree named Elderwood. Elderwood was the guardian of the forest, and its wisdom and magic kept the balance of nature intact. In a cozy burrow at the edge of the enchanted forest lived a little mouse named Oliver. Oliver was not like the other mice. While his friends were content to play and forage close to their homes, Oliver had a thirst for adventure. He often heard stories of the wonders and dangers that lay deep within the forest, and he longed to see them for himself. One sunny morning, as Oliver was gathering berries, he overheard two sparrows talking excitedly about a dark cloud that had settled over Elderwood. They spoke of a terrible curse that had been cast upon the ancient tree, causing its magic to fade and the forest to wither. The once lively forest was now in grave danger. Without hesitation, Oliver decided that he had to help. He knew the journey would be perilous, but his heart was filled with courage. Armed with only a small satchel of provisions, he set off toward the heart of the enchanted forest. As Oliver ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with an eerie silence. The vibrant colors of the plants had dulled, and the magical creatures he had hoped to see were nowhere to be found. After hours of walking, he came across a glade where the sunlight barely penetrated the thick canopy of dying leaves. In the center of the glade stood Elderwood. The once majestic tree now looked ancient and frail, its branches drooping and its bark cracked. Oliver approached Elderwood, feeling a mix of awe and sadness. As he stood before the tree, he heard a faint whisper. "Who dares to approach me?" the voice asked, echoing through the glade. "It is I, Oliver, a humble mouse from the edge of the forest," Oliver replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I've come to help lift the curse that has befallen you." Elderwood sighed, its branches rustling softly. "Brave little mouse, the curse was cast by a wicked sorceress who sought to control the forest's magic. She resides in a dark tower beyond the Forest of Shadows. Only by retrieving the crystal of light from her tower can the curse be lifted." Determined, Oliver asked, "How can I find this tower and the crystal of light?" "Follow the path of the silver leaves," Elderwood instructed. "But beware, for the journey is fraught with danger." With newfound purpose, Oliver set off once more. As he followed the path of silver leaves, he encountered many challenges. He crossed a rickety bridge over a chasm, outwitted a cunning fox, and navigated a maze of thorny vines. Each obstacle tested his bravery and cleverness, but Oliver pressed on. After days of travel, Oliver finally reached the Forest of Shadows. The trees here were tall and menacing, their twisted branches reaching out like claws. In the distance, he could see the dark tower, its silhouette looming against the dim light of the setting sun. Gathering his courage, Oliver approached the tower. The entrance was guarded by stone gargoyles, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. As he drew closer, the gargoyles sprang to life, blocking his path. "You shall not pass," one of them growled. Thinking quickly, Oliver pulled out a piece of cheese from his satchel and offered it to the gargoyles. "I come in peace. Might you accept this humble gift?" The gargoyles sniffed the air and, to Oliver's surprise, stepped aside. "We appreciate your offering, little mouse. You may enter, but beware the sorceress within." With a nod of thanks, Oliver entered the tower. The interior was dark and foreboding, but he could see a faint light emanating from the top of a winding staircase. Stealthily, he climbed the stairs, careful not to make a sound. At the top of the tower, Oliver found the sorceress's chamber. The crystal of light sat on a pedestal, its radiant glow illuminating the room. The sorceress, a tall figure draped in black, was gazing into a cauldron, unaware of Oliver's presence. Summoning all his courage, Oliver darted across the room and grabbed the crystal of light. As soon as he touched it, a brilliant light filled the chamber. The sorceress let out a shriek of rage and tried to cast a spell, but it was too late. The magic of the crystal repelled her, and she vanished in a cloud of smoke. With the crystal of light in his possession, Oliver hurried back to Elderwood. As he placed the crystal at the base of the ancient tree, a wave of light spread through the forest. The leaves regained their vibrant colors, and the magical creatures returned, singing and dancing with joy. Elderwood's voice resonated with gratitude. "Thank you, brave Oliver. You have restored the balance and saved the enchanted forest." Oliver returned to his burrow, hailed as a hero by the creatures of the forest. He had proven that even the smallest of us can make a big difference. From that day on, the enchanted forest thrived, and Oliver's adventures became the stuff of legend, inspiring all who heard his tale. And so, the enchanted forest and its inhabitants lived happily ever after, under the watchful eye of Elderwood and the brave little mouse who saved them all. ###the end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and a dense, ancient forest, there lived a girl named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness and her fascination with the stories her grandmother told her. Her favorite was the tale of the silver feather, a magical feather that could grant one wish to whoever found it. One warm summer night, as the village prepared for the annual moon festival, Elara decided to wander into the forest. She hoped to catch a glimpse of the magical creatures that were said to come out under the full moon. Armed with a lantern and a heart full of curiosity, she ventured into the woods. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves. As Elara walked deeper, she noticed a soft, silvery light shimmering through the trees. Following the light, she came to a clearing with a beautiful pond. The pond's surface reflected the full moon, and on a lily pad in the center of the pond lay a single silver feather, glowing with an ethereal light. Elara's heart raced. Could this be the legendary silver feather? She carefully waded into the pond, her eyes fixed on the feather. Just as she reached out to grasp it, a voice echoed through the clearing. "Who dares to disturb my slumber?" Elara looked around and saw a magnificent swan gliding towards her. The swan's feathers glowed with a soft light, and its eyes sparkled like stars. "I am Elara," she said, bowing respectfully. "I did not mean to disturb you. I was drawn to this beautiful feather." The swan nodded. "I am Seraphina, the guardian of the silver feather. Many have sought its power, but only the pure of heart may make a wish. Tell me, Elara, what is it that you desire?" Elara thought for a moment. She could wish for anything: wealth, fame, power. But then she remembered the stories her grandmother told about the hardships faced by the villagers during long, harsh winters. "I wish for my village to always have enough food and warmth during the cold winters," Elara said. Seraphina's eyes softened. "A selfless wish indeed. Very well, Elara. Your wish shall be granted." The silver feather glowed even brighter, and a warm light enveloped Elara. When the light faded, she found herself back at the edge of the pond, holding the feather. Seraphina had vanished, but Elara felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. The next morning, Elara returned to the village with the silver feather. She told the villagers about her encounter with Seraphina and her wish. To their amazement, the village's crops began to grow more bountifully than ever before, and the animals provided plenty of food and warmth. Years passed, and Elara's village thrived, never again fearing the cold winters. The silver feather was placed in the village square as a reminder of the kindness and selflessness that had brought prosperity to them all. Elara grew up to be a wise and beloved leader of her village, always putting the needs of her people first. The tale of the silver feather in the moonlit pond became a legend, passed down from generation to generation, inspiring acts of kindness and selflessness. And so, the village nestled between the rolling hills and the ancient forest lived happily ever after, under the watchful gaze of the full moon and the glowing silver feather. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil valley surrounded by ancient forests, there was a small village named Willowbrook. The villagers lived in harmony, and their lives were full of simple joys. However, there was one mystery that fascinated everyone: the Midnight Grove, a magical forest that only appeared under the light of a full moon. Legend had it that the Midnight Grove held a secret that could change the lives of those who discovered it. Each full moon, the villagers would catch glimpses of its silver-lit trees and hear enchanting music drifting through the night. But no one had ever ventured into the grove, for it was said to be protected by magical creatures and hidden from ordinary eyes. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, a brave and curious young girl named Elara decided she would solve the mystery of the Midnight Grove. Armed with a lantern and a heart full of courage, she set out to uncover the truth. As she approached the edge of the forest, the moonlight revealed a shimmering path that led directly into the grove. Elara followed the path, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. The deeper she went, the more the forest seemed to come alive. Trees sparkled with silver leaves, and flowers glowed with soft, ethereal light. Eventually, Elara reached the heart of the grove, where a beautiful, ancient oak stood towering above all the other trees. Its trunk was adorned with intricate carvings and a large, glowing key hung from a branch. She approached the oak, her lantern casting gentle shadows on the carvings. As she reached for the key, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Welcome, brave one," said a wise old owl perched on a nearby branch. "You are the first in many years to seek the secret of the Midnight Grove." Elara turned and saw the owl, along with a group of tiny fairies with iridescent wings fluttering nearby. The fairies' laughter was like tinkling bells, and they danced around the oak with joyful abandon. "What is the secret of the Midnight Grove?" Elara asked, her eyes wide with wonder. The owl smiled and explained, the Midnight Grove holds a magical gift, a tree that can grant one true wish to someone who has a pure heart and seeks to help others. Elara's heart raced with excitement. She had always wanted to help her village, which had struggled with a severe drought for many months. The village's crops were failing, and the people were worried about their future. I wish to restore the land's fertility and bring water back to my village, Elara said earnestly. Our village is in dire need. The owl nodded and guided Elara to a small, hidden glade within the grove. There, nestled among the roots of a magnificent tree, was a crystal-clear spring. The water sparkled with a magical light. Elara carefully took a small vial of the spring's water and thanked the magical creatures for their help. As she turned to leave, the fairies bestowed a blessing upon her. May your heart remain as pure as the moonlit night, and may your wish bring prosperity to those you love. Returning to Willowbrook, Elara poured the magical water onto the village's parched fields. Miraculously, the soil began to absorb the water, and soon the crops started to grow lush and green. The village's wells and streams were replenished, and the people rejoiced. Elara's bravery and selflessness had not only saved her village but had also fulfilled the Midnight Grove's ancient promise. The village thrived once more, and Elara became a beloved heroine. The Midnight Grove, with its secrets and magic, remained a cherished part of the village's folklore, a reminder of the power of kindness and courage. And so, every full moon, the villagers would gather and tell the story of Elara and the Midnight Grove, passing down the tale to future generations. They knew that the true magic of the grove was not just in the enchanted water but in the heart of the one who dared to wish for the good of others. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between whispering woods and shimmering lakes, there was a clockmaker named Elara. Her shop was a cozy place filled with clocks of all sizes and shapes, each one ticking in harmonious rhythm. Elara was known far and wide for her magical touch with timepieces, but few knew that her skills were far beyond mere craftsmanship. One crisp autumn morning, as golden leaves danced in the breeze, a stranger in a shimmering cloak entered Elara's shop. His eyes sparkled with a curious blend of wisdom and mischief. "Greetings, clockmaker," he said, his voice smooth like silk. "I have heard of your remarkable talent. I need your help with a special request." Elara looked up from her workbench, intrigued. "What kind of request?" The stranger placed an old, dusty pocket watch on the counter. It was ornate, with intricate engravings of stars and moons, but it had long since stopped ticking. "This watch belongs to a dear friend of mine," he explained. "It holds a secret that needs to be unlocked. I believe you are the only one who can do it." Elara examined the watch closely. The more she looked, the more she felt a strange sense of familiarity. "I'll do my best," she said, and the stranger nodded, disappearing as mysteriously as he had arrived. As Elara worked through the day and into the night, she discovered that the pocket watch was not an ordinary timepiece. It had hidden mechanisms that seemed almost alive, responding to her touch in unexpected ways. The watch held a hidden compartment that contained a small, ancient key. The next morning, Elara used the key to unlock a tiny drawer hidden behind a panel in the shop's wall. Inside, she found a map with a trail leading deep into the whispering woods. The map was old and faded, but the path was marked with strange symbols and golden stars. Curiosity sparked, Elara decided to follow the map. She packed a small bag with essentials and set off on her adventure. The Whispering Woods were known for their magical aura, where trees whispered secrets and shadows danced in the moonlight. Guided by the map, Elara ventured deeper into the forest, her heart racing with excitement and a hint of fear. After a few hours of walking, she arrived at a clearing bathed in the soft glow of twilight. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. The map indicated that this was the destination. Elara approached the tree and noticed that the watch fit perfectly into a small indentation in the trunk. As she placed the watch inside, the tree's bark began to glow, revealing a hidden door. She pushed the door open and found a spiral staircase leading down into a hidden chamber. The chamber was filled with shimmering light and the soft hum of magic. At its center stood a pedestal with a magnificent clock, its hands frozen at midnight. Around the clock were 4 golden orbs, each representing a different element: earth, air, fire, and water. As Elara approached the clock, she felt a gentle pull, guiding her to place the pocket watch in the center of the pedestal. The moment she did, the clock began to tick again, its hands moving slowly but steadily. The orbs floated above the clock, each one glowing brightly and casting a rainbow of colors around the room. Suddenly, the air filled with a soothing melody, and a figure emerged from the shadows, a beautiful spirit with flowing robes and a serene smile. She was the guardian of time, bound to protect the balance of the magical world. "Thank you, brave clockmaker," the spirit said. "You have restored the heart of time. This clock is not just a timepiece, it is a beacon of harmony that keeps the world in balance. By repairing it, you have ensured that time flows smoothly and the magic remains alive." Elara felt a sense of awe and accomplishment. "But why me? Why did the watch choose me?" The spirit smiled gently. "Your kindness, skill, and courage have shown that you are worthy. The watch was a test of your spirit, and you have proven yourself." With that, the spirit waved her hand, and Elara found herself back in her shop, the pocket watch now ticking steadily on the counter. The mysterious stranger returned, his eyes twinkling with gratitude. "You have done well," he said. "The watch is now a symbol of the balance you have restored. Thank you for your bravery." Elara smiled as the stranger disappeared once more. The village continued to flourish, and Elara's shop remained a place of wonder, where time was cherished and magic thrived. And so, Elara lived happily, knowing that she had played a vital role in the enchanted world, where time and magic intertwined in perfect harmony. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met endless starry skies, there was a small village named Starhaven. Starhaven was known for its nightly market of moonlight, a magical bazaar that only appeared under the light of the full moon. The market was a place of wonder where dreams came to life and the impossible became possible. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Luna. Luna was known for her radiant smile and her love for stories. Every full moon, she would visit the market of moonlight with her grandmother, who had always told her marvelous tales of its magic. Luna longed to discover the true magic of the market for herself. One crisp evening, with the full moon glowing brightly in the sky, Luna set out to the market alone. As she arrived, she was greeted by a dazzling array of stalls, each brimming with fantastical goods, shimmering fabrics, enchanted trinkets, and potions that sparkled like the night sky. The air was filled with the melodies of celestial music and the aroma of sweet, exotic treats. Luna wandered through the market, marveling at the wonders around her. She came across a stall run by an old woman with a kind face, who sold jars of moonlight that flickered with a soft, golden glow. "Welcome, dear," the old woman said. "These jars hold the essence of moonlight. Each one contains a single wish. Choose wisely, for once the jar is opened, the wish must be made with a true heart." Luna's eyes widened with excitement. She picked up a jar and saw that it was filled with the light of 1,000 stars. The old woman's words echoed in her mind, and Luna pondered her deepest wish. She wanted to bring joy and wonder to her village, especially for those who had never been able to visit the moonlight market. As Luna continued to explore, she stumbled upon a mysterious stall that seemed to shimmer and change colors with every step she took. At the stall stood a charming young man with silver hair and a mischievous grin. He was selling enchanted maps that promised to lead the way to hidden treasures. "Ah, a curious soul," the young man said. "These maps show the path to treasures that can only be found under the light of the full moon. Would you like to find one?" Luna nodded eagerly, and the young man handed her a glowing map. "Follow the map and it will lead you to a treasure that is meant for you." With the map in hand, Luna followed its glowing path through the market. The map led her to a secluded corner where a small, sparkling pond was nestled among the stalls. The water of the pond seemed to dance with the light of the moon. As Luna approached the pond, she noticed a small, silver key lying on the ground. She picked it up and found a tiny, ornate chest half buried in the sand. Using the key, she opened the chest and found a beautiful, intricately designed locket inside. The locket was adorned with a crescent moon and tiny, twinkling stars. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke from the locket. "You have discovered the Moonlight Locket, which holds the power to share the magic of the market with others. It can bring the enchantment of the market of moonlight to those who have never experienced it." Luna's heart swelled with joy. She knew this was the magic she had hoped for. She thanked the locket and made her way back to the village with a renewed sense of purpose. As Luna arrived home, she gathered her friends and family and showed them the Moonlight Locket. She told them about her adventure and how the locket could share the magic of the market of moonlight with their village. The villagers were filled with excitement and wonder. That evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Luna held the locket up and wished for the magic of the market to visit their village. Instantly, the village was bathed in a soft, magical light, and the market of moonlight appeared before them. The villagers were amazed as they explored the market, marveling at the wonders and delights. They found enchanted trinkets, tasted exotic treats, and danced to the celestial music. The magic of the market brought joy and happiness to everyone, creating memories that would last a lifetime. Luna's wish had come true, and the village of Starhaven thrived with the enchantment of the Moonlight Market. The magic of the market became a cherished part of their lives, and Luna's story was told for generations, reminding everyone of the power of a selfless wish and the magic that can be found when one's heart is filled with love and kindness. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a dense, enchanted forest, there was a magical tree known as the Whispering Willow. This ancient willow was said to have the power to grant wishes to those who approached it with a pure heart and a selfless wish. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known for her gentle nature and her love for the village's animals. She spent her days helping the villagers and caring for the stray animals that roamed the streets. Her greatest desire was to ensure that every creature, big or small, had a home and was cared for. One day, as Clara was tending to a wounded bird, she overheard a conversation among the villagers. They spoke of a terrible drought that was threatening their crops and their livelihood. Without rain, the village would face a harsh winter, and many would suffer. Determined to help, Clara decided to seek out the Whispering Willow and make a wish for rain to save the village. She knew the journey to the willow was long and filled with challenges, but her heart was set on her mission. Early the next morning, Clara set off into the forest with a small bundle of supplies, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. Her faithful dog, Milo, trotted alongside her. The forest was beautiful but dense, and the path to the Whispering Willow was not well trodden. As they ventured deeper into the forest, Clara and Milo came across a wide, sparkling river. The river's current was swift, and there was no bridge in sight. Clara knew they needed to cross to continue their journey. As she pondered how to get across, a friendly river otter named Oliver appeared. "Hello there," Oliver chirped. "I see you're trying to cross the river. I can help you, but first, you must answer my riddle." Clara, determined to reach the willow, agreed. Oliver asked, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Clara thought for a moment and then replied, "A keyboard." Oliver clapped his paws in delight. "Correct. I'll help you across." Oliver used his tail to create a series of stepping stones, guiding Clara and Milo safely across the river. They thanked Oliver and continued their journey. Next, they arrived at a dense thicket of brambles. The brambles were so thick that it seemed impossible to get through. As Clara pondered, a wise old tortoise named Tiberius emerged from the underbrush. "Greetings, traveler," Tiberius said. "To pass through the brambles, you must show patience and care. Follow the path of the light." Clara and Milo carefully navigated the brambles, following the faint glow of fireflies that illuminated a hidden path. After some time, they emerged from the thicket and continued their journey. Finally, they reached the clearing where the Whispering Willow stood. The tree was enormous, with long, graceful branches that seemed to sway even without the wind. Its leaves rustled softly, whispering secrets to those who approached. Clara stepped forward and gently placed her hand on the willow's trunk. "Dear Whispering Willow," she said softly, "I wish for rain to save my village and the crops we depend on." The willow's leaves rustled more intensely, and a soft, golden light surrounded the tree. The whispers grew louder, and Clara felt a warm, comforting presence. The tree's magic was responding to her selfless wish. As Clara and Milo made their way back to the village, dark clouds began to gather in the sky. The first raindrops fell, gently at first, and then became a steady, life-giving rain. The villagers looked up in amazement and joy as their fields and gardens were nourished by the long-awaited rain. When Clara returned, she was greeted with cheers and gratitude from the villagers. They celebrated the rain and Clara's bravery with a grand feast. Clara's selfless wish had saved the village, and the Whispering Willow's magic had restored the land. From that day on, Clara was known not only for her kindness but also for her courage and the power of selfless wishes. The Whispering Willow continued to stand as a beacon of hope and magic in the forest, and Clara's story was told for generations as a reminder of the power of compassion and the magic that lies within a pure heart. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a hidden valley surrounded by towering mountains and lush forests, there was a small village named Willowbrook. Willowbrook was a peaceful place, known for its vibrant meadows and the gentle river that flowed through it. The villagers lived simple lives, but they cherished a magical relic, an old locket that was said to hold the key to great secrets and wonders. The locket had been passed down through generations and was kept safe in the village's ancient oak tree, where it was said to glow faintly under the light of the full moon. The villagers believed that the locket had the power to grant a single wish to someone with a pure heart. Among the villagers was a kind-hearted young girl named Arya. Arya was known for her bravery and her love for animals. Though she was content with her life, she often dreamed of a grand adventure. When she learned of the locket's magical properties, Arya felt a deep desire to find out if she could use it to help her village, which had recently been plagued by a mysterious blight that threatened their crops and livelihood. One evening, under the light of the full moon, Arya decided to take a closer look at the locket. As she approached the ancient oak tree, she found that the locket's glow was stronger than ever. The locket seemed to be calling out to her, and with a mix of excitement and nervousness, Arya reached out and carefully removed it from its resting place. The moment she held the locket in her hands, a soft, melodious voice spoke from within it. "Greetings, Arya. I am the spirit of the locket. To use the magic within, you must embark on a quest to restore balance to the land." Arya listened intently as the spirit explained that the blight affecting her village was caused by an imbalance in nature. To restore harmony, Arya needed to find 3 enchanted items scattered throughout the land: the Sunstone, the Moonflower, and the Heartwood. Each item was protected by magical guardians, and Arya had to prove her worthiness by overcoming challenges that tested her courage, kindness, and wisdom. With determination, Arya set off on her quest. Her first destination was the Golden Hills, where the Sunstone was said to be hidden. As she climbed the hills, she encountered a fierce storm that threatened to drive her back. But Arya remembered the spirit's words and pressed on, finding shelter in a cave where an old sage awaited her. The sage, who introduced himself as Elder Thorn, told Arya that to obtain the Sunstone, she must first calm the storm that raged outside. Using her kindness and bravery, Arya spoke to the storm as if it were a frightened child, soothing its fury with gentle words and heartfelt promises. The storm subsided, and Elder Thorn rewarded her with the radiant Sunstone. Next, Arya traveled to the Twilight Forest, where the Moonflower was said to bloom only in the presence of true moonlight. The forest was filled with winding paths and magical creatures. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a mischievous sprite who tried to lead her astray with illusions and tricks. Arya remained focused and used her wisdom to see through the sprite's tricks. She followed the real path, guided by the soft glow of the Moonflower, which she found blooming beneath a grand, ancient tree. The sprite, impressed by Aria's perseverance, allowed her to take the moonflower and gave her a blessing for her journey. The final destination was the Heartwood Grove, where the Heartwood was guarded by a majestic forest guardian. Upon reaching the grove, Aria met the guardian, a powerful creature with antlers like branches and eyes that glowed with ancient wisdom. The guardian told Aria that to earn the Heartwood, she must show her genuine love for nature. Aria spent the day tending to the grove, healing injured animals and nurturing the plants. Her heartfelt care and dedication moved the guardian, who bestowed the Heartwood upon her. With all 3 enchanted items in hand, Aria returned to Willowbrook. She used the sunstone to bring warmth and light to the blighted fields, the moonflower to restore the land's magical balance, and the Heartwood to heal the land's deep-rooted wounds. The crops flourished once more, and the village rejoiced. The spirit of the locket appeared once again, praising Aria for her bravery, kindness, and wisdom. The village thrived, and the locket's magic continued to shine brightly as a symbol of hope and harmony. Aria's adventure became a cherished tale in Willowbrook, a reminder of the power of courage and the importance of caring for the world around us. And so, with the land healed and her heart full, Aria lived happily, always ready for new adventures and discoveries. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled in a lush valley, there was a mysterious old shop called The Weaving Wonders. The shop was run by a kind but reclusive woman named Elowen, who was known for her exquisite and magical tapestries. Each tapestry she wove told a story, and it was said that the threads she used were imbued with enchantments. The villagers loved Elowen's tapestries, but there was one tale that was often whispered among them, the story of the enchanted loom. According to legend, this loom had the power to weave not just beautiful tapestries but also to create magical items and fulfill the deepest desires of those who used it. However, the loom had been hidden away for many years, and its magic was believed to be lost. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira had always been fascinated by the stories of magic and wonder that surrounded Elowen's shop. She was known for her curious nature and her ability to solve puzzles. One day, she overheard a conversation about the enchanted loom and decided she would find it and uncover its secrets. Mira approached Elowen's shop, which was covered in ivy and seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy. She knocked on the door, and Elowen answered with a warm, but mysterious smile. "How can I help you, dear?" she asked. Mira took a deep breath and said, "I've heard the story of the enchanted loom. I want to find it and see if the magic is real. Can you help me?" Elowen's eyes twinkled with a mix of surprise and approval. "The loom is hidden in a secret place, and only someone with a pure heart and a sharp mind can find it. If you truly wish to seek it, you must first complete 3 tasks that test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Mira agreed eagerly, and Elowen handed her a small, ornate key and a map with strange symbols. "Follow the map, and you will find the tasks you need to complete." The map led Mira to the edge of the village and into the enchanted forest, a magical place known for its shifting paths and talking creatures. Her first task was to find the task of courage. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Mira came across a narrow bridge guarded by a fierce-looking dragon. The dragon was actually a gentle creature under a spell, and it roared to scare away intruders. Mira approached the dragon calmly and spoke to it with compassion. She learned that the dragon was protecting a magical flower that could only be retrieved by someone with a brave heart. Mira's courage and kind words broke the spell, and the dragon allowed her to pick the flower, which she placed carefully in her satchel. The next task was the task of kindness. Mira followed the map to a clearing where a family of rabbits was struggling to find food. The forest had become overgrown, making it difficult for them to find their usual nourishment. Mira used the magical flower's glow to light the way and cleared a path to a nearby meadow where the rabbits could find plenty of food. The grateful rabbits showed her the way to her next destination. The final task was the task of wisdom. Mira arrived at a stone archway with a puzzle inscribed on it. The puzzle was a series of symbols and riddles that needed to be solved to unlock the gate. Mira studied the symbols carefully and used her knowledge of the stories she had heard about the enchanted loom. With each correct answer, the archway symbols glowed brighter, and the gate slowly opened. Beyond the gate was a hidden chamber bathed in soft, golden light. At the center of the chamber stood the enchanted loom, its wooden frame intricately carved with magical runes. The loom was surrounded by vibrant threads of every color, shimmering as if alive. Mira approached the loom with awe. As she touched it, the loom began to weave a tapestry before her eyes. The tapestry depicted scenes of the village, its people, and the wonders of the enchanted forest. Mira realized that the loom's true magic was in its ability to bring people's dreams and desires to life through its weavings. With a heart full of gratitude, Mira returned to Eloan's shop and shared her adventure. Eloan was delighted and revealed that the loom had chosen Mira because of her pure heart and unwavering spirit. Mira's bravery, kindness, and wisdom had restored the loom's magic, and the village was once again filled with the enchantment of its beautiful tapestries. From then on, Mira and Eloan worked together to create magical tapestries that brought joy and wonder to the village. The enchanted loom became a symbol of the village's unity and the power of believing in the magic within one's heart. And so, the tale of Mira and the enchanted loom became a cherished story, teaching that with courage, kindness, and wisdom, one can uncover the greatest of treasures and bring magic into the world. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Her family was known for their beautiful handcrafted lanterns that illuminated the village during the night. Each lantern was made with love and magic, passed down through generations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Lila's mother fell ill. Without her guidance, Lila was left to complete the final lantern, a special one meant to bring prosperity and joy to the village for the coming year. Lila worked tirelessly, but as the night grew darker, the lantern remained incomplete. She was just about to give up when she noticed a faint glow coming from the edge of the forest nearby. Curiosity piqued, she decided to follow the light. Through the whispering trees and over the sparkling stream, Lila ventured deeper into the forest until she arrived at a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, hovering above a small, ancient pedestal, was a lantern unlike any she had ever seen. Its light was soft and inviting, with colors dancing like the northern lights. Just as Lila reached out to touch it, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young one," said a wise old woman with eyes like the twilight sky. "I am the guardian of the enchanted lantern. This lantern holds the magic of dreams and wishes." Lila, surprised but determined, explained her predicament. "I need to complete the lantern for the festival. My mother is ill, and I don't know if I can finish it in time." The guardian listened intently. "This lantern can help you, but its magic must be used wisely. It can grant one wish, but only if it is made with pure intentions and a true heart." Lila thought for a moment. She wished for her village to be blessed with happiness and prosperity for the coming year. With a deep breath, she made her wish and touched the enchanted lantern. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a warm breeze swirled around Lila, carrying the magic of her wish into the night sky. The guardian smiled kindly. "You have chosen well. Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless." As Lila made her way back to the village, she found that the lantern she had been working on was now glowing with the same magical light she had seen in the forest. With renewed energy, she finished decorating it with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. The Lantern Festival began, and as each lantern was lit, the village was bathed in a warm, enchanting glow. The magic of the enchanted lantern spread throughout the village, bringing joy, prosperity, and a sense of unity. Lila's mother, feeling the magic's touch, began to recover. The village celebrated with great festivities, knowing that their wishes had been granted. Lila's selflessness and the magic of the enchanted lantern had made the festival one to remember. And so, under the shimmering lights of the Lantern Festival, Lila and her village lived happily ever after, knowing that the true magic of the lanterns came from the kindness and love shared by those who made them. The end. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, there stood an ancient well at the center of the town square. The well was no ordinary one, it was known as the Wishing Well. Legend had it that the well could grant a single wish to anyone who truly believed in its magic, but only if their heart was pure. The villagers often told stories of the well, passing down tales of those who had their wishes granted, of farmers who wished for bountiful harvests, of travelers who wished for safe journeys, and of lovers who wished for eternal happiness. But there was one rule that everyone knew: you could only wish for something selfless, something that would bring joy to others. In the village lived a girl named Lila. She was kind and thoughtful, always helping those in need. Lila lived with her grandmother, who had raised her after her parents passed away when she was very young. Her grandmother was the most important person in Lila's life, but as time went on, her grandmother grew older and weaker. Lila worried every day that she would lose her. One evening, as Lila was tending to her grandmother, the old woman held her hand and whispered, "Lila, my dear, there is something I want you to have." She handed Lila a small, silver coin. "This is for the wishing well. I kept it for years, waiting for the right moment, but I think you should have it now. Use it wisely, my sweet girl." Lila took the coin, feeling the weight of her grandmother's words. She had heard of the well's power, but she had never imagined she would be the one to make a wish. She knew exactly what she wanted: to wish for her grandmother's health to be restored. But she also knew the rule: the wish had to be selfless. That night, Lila lay awake, thinking about what to do. She loved her grandmother more than anything, but she didn't want to break the well's rule. As she thought about it, she remembered all the kindness her grandmother had shown to others over the years, how she had helped neighbors in need, cared for the sick, and shared her wisdom with everyone. Lila realized that the best way to honor her grandmother was to wish for something that would bring happiness to the whole village, just as her grandmother had always done. With that in mind, she knew what her wish would be. The next morning, Lila walked to the wishing well with the silver coin clutched tightly in her hand. The village was quiet, the sun just beginning to rise. As she approached the well, she felt a gentle breeze, as if the well was welcoming her. Lila took a deep breath and closed her eyes, thinking of all the people in the village, including her grandmother. She tossed the coin into the well and whispered, "I wish for a garden to grow in the heart of our village, a garden that will bring joy and nourishment to all who live here." The well was silent for a moment, and then Lila heard a soft, melodious sound, like the tinkling of bells. She opened her eyes and saw a faint glow emanating from the well. The light spread out, covering the ground around the well, and wherever it touched, flowers and plants began to grow. Within moments, the village square had transformed into a beautiful garden, filled with vibrant flowers, lush greenery, and fruit-bearing trees. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, and the sound of birds singing in the trees. The villagers soon awoke to find the garden, and they were amazed. They gathered in the square, marveling at the beauty that had appeared overnight. Lila's grandmother, feeling stronger than she had in years, joined them, her face lighting up with joy at the sight. Lila stood by the well, her heart swelling with happiness. She knew that her wish had been granted, not just for her grandmother, but for everyone. The garden became a place where the villagers would come together, sharing in its bounty and finding peace and joy in its beauty. As time passed, the garden grew even more magnificent, and the village prospered. Lila's grandmother regained her strength, and the villagers often spoke of the day the wishing well had granted Lila's wish. They never knew exactly what she had wished for, but they knew that it had been made with a heart full of love. Lila would often visit the well, sitting by its edge and watching the garden grow. She knew that the true magic of the well wasn't just in granting wishes, but in teaching everyone the power of selflessness and the joy that comes from giving to others. And so, the village thrived, with the wishing well and its magical garden at its heart, a symbol of the love and kindness that Lila had shown with her simple, yet powerful wish. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there stood an ancient well at the heart of the village square. The well was known to the villagers as the Enchanted Well. It was said to possess magical powers that could grant one true wish to those who were pure of heart and faced great challenges. In this village lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was known for her generosity and bravery, always ready to help others in need. Her family was modest, but their hearts were full of love. Despite her joyful spirit, Isla had one deep wish: she wanted to help her village thrive and bring prosperity to everyone who lived there. One winter's day, the village was struck by a terrible frost that lasted longer than usual. The crops withered, and the once bustling market square fell silent. The villagers struggled to keep warm and find enough food. Seeing her neighbors in distress, Isla decided to seek out the enchanted well for help. One evening, under the light of the full moon, Isla made her way to the well. She took with her a single lantern and a small sack of bread, knowing that many in the village were hungry. As she approached the well, she saw that its surface was covered in frost, and the water inside was frozen. Isla spoke softly to the well, "Great enchanted well, I wish to bring prosperity back to our village and help those in need. Please, if you can grant one true wish, let it be for the good of everyone." The well remained silent, and Isla felt a pang of doubt. But just as she was about to leave, she heard a faint, melodious voice. The water in the well began to shimmer, and a gentle mist rose from its depths. "Isla, you have a noble heart," the voice said. "To bring prosperity to your village, you must first embark on a journey to find the 3 keys of harmony. Only then can the true magic of the enchanted well be revealed." With newfound determination, Isla set off on her quest. The first key was said to be hidden in the Whispering Forest, where the trees were known to speak in hushed tones. As Isla entered the forest, she listened carefully to the whispers of the trees, which guided her to a hidden glade. There, she found a golden key embedded in a bed of moss. The second key was rumored to be in the crystal caves, where the walls sparkled with the light of countless gems. To reach the key, Isla had to navigate through a maze of glittering passages. Her courage and patience led her to the heart of the cave, where she discovered a silver key resting atop a pedestal. For the final key, Isla needed to climb the towering peak, a high mountain that was often shrouded in mist. The ascent was challenging, and Isla faced strong winds and freezing temperatures. But with perseverance, she reached the summit and found the third key, made of shimmering stardust, hidden in a small, celestial alcove. Having collected all 3 keys, Isla returned to the enchanted well. As she approached, the well's water began to flow once more, and the air was filled with a soft, harmonious melody. Isla placed the 3 keys in a small, ornate box beside the well. The water in the well sparkled brightly, and a brilliant light erupted, enveloping the village in a warm, golden glow. The frost lifted, and the crops began to flourish once again. The villagers rejoiced as their market square came alive with the sights and sounds of prosperity. Isla's selflessness and bravery had restored the magic of the enchanted well, bringing hope and abundance back to her village. She was celebrated as a hero, not for her own gain, but for the love and care she had shown to her community. From that day on, the village thrived, and the enchanted well continued to stand as a symbol of the magic that can be achieved through compassion and perseverance. The story of Isla and the well was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of selfless wishes and the wonders that can be achieved when hearts are filled with love and courage. And so, Isla's village remained a place of joy and prosperity, forever touched by the magic of the enchanted well. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a vast, ancient forest, there was a place known as the Whispering Woods. This forest was famous for its whispering trees that could talk, but only to those with pure hearts and noble intentions. Legend spoke of a hidden treasure deep within the woods that could bring peace and prosperity to anyone who found it. In this village lived a brave young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his kindness and courage, and he often helped his neighbors with their problems. One day, news arrived that the village was facing a severe drought, and the crops were failing. The villagers were worried and desperate. Leo, determined to help, decided to venture into the Whispering Woods to find the legendary treasure that could save them. Into the forest with the first light of dawn, Leo set off on his journey, carrying only a small satchel with provisions and a sturdy walking stick. As he entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to come alive with rustling leaves and soft murmurs. The forest was dense and mysterious, but Leo's heart was steady and true. As he walked deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. The owl, with its large, knowing eyes, greeted Leo. To find the treasure, you must first prove your worth by completing 3 challenges. The forest will guide you if you listen carefully. The first challenge, the enchanted stream. Leo followed the owl's advice and soon came upon a crystal-clear stream with shimmering water. The stream was magical but also very tricky. It flowed in strange patterns and seemed to change direction whenever Leo tried to follow it. On the bank of the stream, Leo found a message written in shimmering letters: "To cross the stream, you must solve the riddle of the water. What is as light as a feather, yet even the world's strongest man couldn't hold it for much longer than a minute?" Leo pondered the riddle and then smiled as he realized the answer. "Breath," he said aloud. As he spoke, the water parted, revealing a bridge made of glistening stones.
Leo crossed the stream safely, feeling encouraged by his progress. The second challenge, the singing flowers. On the other side of the stream, Leo entered a meadow filled with flowers of every color. The flowers were singing in harmony, but their melodies were tangled and chaotic. Leo noticed a beautiful melody coming from a patch of flowers that seemed to be wilting. He approached the wilting flowers and gently tended to them, watering them with the water from the stream. As he did so, the flowers began to sing more clearly, their melodies becoming harmonious once more. The singing flowers formed a path leading Leo towards a grove at the heart of the forest. The third challenge, the guardian of the grove. In the grove, Leo found an ancient, grand oak tree with a face carved into its trunk. The oak tree was known as the guardian of the grove. Its deep voice resonated through the air as it spoke: "To earn the treasure, you must demonstrate the greatest gift of all. Share something of yourself willingly and without expectation." Leo thought about this carefully.
He reached into his satchel and pulled out a simple but precious locket, a family heirloom given to him by his grandmother. It was a symbol of his family's love and sacrifice. He placed the locket at the base of the oak tree. The oak's branches rustled in approval, and the ground beneath Leo's feet began to glow with a golden light. The guardian of the grove spoke again: "You have shown true selflessness and kindness. The treasure you seek lies beyond this grove." The hidden treasure. Following the glowing light, Leo arrived at a hidden clearing where a magnificent chest lay in the center. The chest was adorned with intricate patterns and glowing with a warm, golden light. Leo opened the chest, revealing a radiant, crystal orb. The moment Leo touched the orb, a warm, soothing light spread across the forest. The drought in his village was instantly lifted as the orb's magic began to bring rain and restore the crops. The trees of the Whispering Woods rustled in joy, and the forest seemed to come alive with vibrant colors. Returned to the village. Leo returned to his village, carrying the crystal orb with him. As he approached, the once dry fields were now lush and green, and the villagers were filled with amazement and joy. The orb had not only restored the land but had also brought a sense of peace and unity to the village. The villagers celebrated Leo's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the Whispering Woods were forever grateful for the young boy who had shown such a pure heart. The legend of the Whispering Woods continued to be told for generations, reminding everyone that true treasure lies in selflessness and compassion. And so, the village flourished once more, and Leo's story became a cherished tale of hope and heroism. The Whispering Woods remained a magical place, always ready to aid those with kind hearts. The end. In a land where rolling meadows met sparkling rivers and towering mountains, there was a village called Celestia. The village was renowned for its breathtaking skies, painted every day by an unseen artist who colored the clouds with stunning hues. No one knew who this artist was, but their work brought joy to all who saw it. The village was home to a young girl named Eloan, whose dreams were as vibrant as the skies she admired. Eloan loved to watch the clouds change colors at sunrise and sunset, and she often imagined herself as the artist behind the magical transformations. One afternoon, while exploring the edge of the forest, Eloan stumbled upon an old, dusty book half buried under a pile of leaves. She picked it up and brushed off the dirt, revealing a cover adorned with intricate patterns and a shimmering title, "The Secrets of the Cloud Painter." Excited, Eloan opened the book and began to read. The book spoke of a legendary cloud painter who used enchanted paintbrushes to create the most beautiful skies. The painter had vanished long ago, leaving only the magical brushes behind. According to the book, the brushes were hidden in the heart of the enchanted forest, guarded by a series of mystical challenges. Determined to uncover the truth, Eloan set out on a quest to find the enchanted brushes. She ventured into the enchanted forest, which was known for its magical creatures and mysterious paths. Her first challenge was to find the glowing brook, said to be the source of the magical paint used by the cloud painter. After hours of searching, Eloan stumbled upon a brook that shimmered with a soft, golden light. As she knelt by the water, she saw that the brook was filled with tiny, sparkling fish that seemed to dance in the light. A wise old turtle appeared from the depths and spoke to her. "To find what you seek, you must answer this question," the turtle said. "What is both a guide and a companion, always present but never seen?" Eloan thought for a moment and then answered, "A shadow." The turtle nodded and revealed a hidden path behind the brook. Eloan followed the path, which led her to a large, ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. Inside the tree was a cozy room filled with soft, glowing lanterns and shelves of beautiful paintbrushes. But only one brush was enchanted, the one with a handle made of shimmering silver and bristles that seemed to sparkle with every color of the rainbow. Eloan carefully picked up the enchanted brush and felt a rush of excitement. As she turned to leave, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. "You have found the first brush, but there are still 2 more challenges to overcome." Eloan was determined and continued her journey. The next challenge led her to the misty meadow, where she needed to find the luminous flower, which bloomed only in the light of the full moon. The meadow was filled with mist and ethereal light, and Eloan had to navigate through a maze of shimmering fog. At the heart of the meadow, Eloan found the luminous flower, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. As she approached, a beautiful fairy appeared and handed her a vial filled with moonlight. "Use this vial to reveal the true colors of the enchanted brush," the fairy said. "But remember, true beauty comes from the heart." With the vial in hand, Eloan made her way to the final challenge, the summit of stars. At the summit, she found a canvas stretched across a massive stone frame, waiting to be painted. The night sky above was filled with twinkling stars, and Eloan knew this was where she would use the enchanted brush. As she began to paint, the brush danced across the canvas, creating mesmerizing patterns and colors that mirrored the night sky. The moonlight from the vial infused the paint with a magical glow, and the canvas came to life with swirling constellations and vivid hues. Suddenly, a soft, warm light enveloped Eloan, and a figure appeared before her, a radiant spirit with a flowing robe and a crown of stars. The spirit was the cloud painter, who had been watching Eloan's journey. "You have shown great courage, creativity, and a pure heart," the spirit said. "The enchanted brushes are now yours to use. Paint the skies with your own unique colors and let your imagination soar." With the blessing of the cloud painter, Eloan returned to Celestia, her heart brimming with joy and excitement. She began to paint the skies, creating dazzling sunrises and breathtaking sunsets that captivated the villagers. Each day, the clouds took on new and magical forms, reflecting Eloan's boundless creativity. The villagers marveled at the ever-changing skies, and Eloan's art became a cherished part of Celestia's daily life. The village thrived under the radiant skies, and the story of Eloan's adventure and the magical brushes was told and retold through generations. And so, Eloan's dreams became a reality, and the skies of Celestia continued to sparkle with the colors of her imagination, reminding everyone that true magic is created with a heart full of wonder and creativity. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and a shimmering river, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara had always been fascinated by the night sky. She would often lie on the grass, gazing up at the stars, dreaming of one day touching them. The village was known for its quiet charm and the mystical stories about a legendary star weaver, a magical being who wove the stars into the night sky. The star weaver's work was said to bring light and guidance to the world, and each star was believed to hold a special wish or secret. One evening, as Elara was stargazing, she noticed a bright star flicker and fall from the sky. It landed softly in the meadow near her home. Curious and excited, Elara hurried to the spot where the star had fallen. To her astonishment, she found a tiny, glowing figure, the Star Weaver herself. The Star Weaver was an elegant being with flowing robes made of stardust in a gentle, radiant glow. She smiled at Elara and spoke in a melodious voice, "Greetings, young one. I am Lyra, the Star Weaver. I have been searching for a worthy apprentice to help me with my work. Would you like to join me?" Elara's heart leaped with joy. "Yes, please. I've always dreamed of touching the stars and learning their secrets." Lyra's eyes twinkled with warmth. "Very well. To become my apprentice, you must complete 3 trials. Each trial will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness. If you succeed, you will learn the art of star weaving. Trial 1, the trial of courage. The first trial took Elara to a dark, enchanted forest where the shadows danced and the trees whispered secrets. Lyra guided her to a hidden glen where a magical flower with petals of pure moonlight bloomed. The challenge was to retrieve the flower, guarded by a mischievous pixie who played tricks on anyone who approached. Elara faced the pixie's tricks with bravery. She solved the riddles and puzzles the pixie set before her and approached the flower with respect and patience. When the pixie saw Elara's determination and sincerity, she granted her the moonlit flower. Elara returned to Lyra, her courage proven. Trial 2, the trial of wisdom. The second trial led Elara to an ancient library of celestial books, where every book contained the knowledge of the stars. She was tasked with finding a specific book that held the key to a forgotten constellation. The library was vast, and the books floated in the air, moving and rearranging themselves. Elara used her wisdom to observe the patterns and the subtle clues hidden within the library. She realized that the constellation she sought was depicted in the arrangement of the books. By aligning the books correctly, she revealed the hidden book and learned the constellation's secret. Trial 3, the trial of kindness. For the final trial, Elara was taken to a village in the realm of dreams, where the villagers had lost their joy and hope. The magic that Lyra had woven to light their dreams had dimmed, leaving them in sorrow. Elara knew that to restore their hope, she needed to bring back the light. She played her flute, a gift from Lyra, and the melody filled the air with warmth and cheer. The villagers gathered, and the music rekindled their joy and hope. They rejoiced and thanked Elara for restoring the light to their dreams. With all 3 trials complete, Lyra welcomed Elara back to the Star Weaver's realm. Elara had proven her courage, wisdom, and kindness, and Lyra began teaching her the art of star weaving. Elara learned to weave threads of stardust into constellations, creating patterns and stories in the night sky. As time passed, Elara became a skilled star weaver. She and Lyra worked together, crafting beautiful patterns in the sky that told stories of adventure, love, and hope. The stars shone brighter, and their light guided travelers and dreamers alike. Elara returned to her village, now with the ability to weave magic into the stars. She shared her knowledge and continued to inspire others with her tales of the celestial realm. The village became known as a place where dreams came true and where the night sky was a canvas of wonder and magic. And so, Elara's wish came true. She touched the stars and learned their secrets, bringing light and joy to the world. Her story became a cherished legend, a reminder that with courage, wisdom, and kindness, one could weave their own dreams into the fabric of the universe. Under the starlit sky, Elara's legacy lived on, a beacon of hope and magic for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Verdantia, nestled between lush green hills and a sparkling river, there lived a young shepherd named Finn. Finn was known throughout the village for his cheerful disposition and his talent for playing the harp. He owned a simple wooden harp, which had been passed down through generations in his family. Every evening, as the sun set over the hills, Finn would play melodies that brought peace and happiness to all who heard them. One summer, a terrible drought struck Verdantia. The river dried up, the crops withered, and the once green fields turned brown and barren. The villagers grew anxious and desperate. Finn's music, though still beautiful, could not lift the heavy spirits of his neighbors. Finn knew he had to do something to save his beloved home. One night, as Finn was playing his harp under the light of the full moon, an old woman appeared at his door. She introduced herself as Ira, a wise enchantress from a distant land. She had heard Finn's music and was moved by its purity. Ira told Finn about the golden harp, a magical instrument hidden in the Heartwood Forest, which had the power to bring rain and restore life to the land. Finn, filled with hope and determination, decided to embark on a quest to find the golden harp. The next morning, he packed some food, his wooden harp, and a small flask of water, and set off towards the Heartwood Forest. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered an array of mystical creatures. Among them was a talking fox named Vesper, who offered to guide Finn on his journey. The golden harp is protected by the spirit of the forest, Vesper explained. To reach it, you must pass 3 trials that test your kindness, courage, and wisdom. With Vesper by his side, Finn continued his journey. The first trial led them to the Lake of Reflection, where a beautiful swan named Seraphina was trapped in a net of thorny vines. Without hesitation, Finn set his harp aside and carefully untangled the vines, freeing Seraphina. In gratitude, Seraphina gave Finn a single feather from her wing, which glowed with a soft, golden light. "You have shown great kindness," Seraphina said. "This feather will light your way in times of darkness." The second trial brought Finn and Vesper to the Cave of Echoes, where a fierce dragon named Draconis guarded the entrance. The dragon was known for his fiery breath and intimidating presence. Finn, though afraid, approached Draconis and began to play a soothing melody on his harp. The dragon, enchanted by the music, calmed down and allowed Finn to pass. "You have shown great courage," Draconis said, his eyes softening. "Take this scale from my chest. It will protect you from harm." The final trial led them to the Meadow of Illusions, where the path to the golden harp was hidden among countless false trails. Finn remembered Ira's words about wisdom and decided to use the swan's feather. He held it up, and its golden light revealed the true path through the meadow. With Vesper's guidance, they reached a clearing where the golden harp rested on a pedestal made of intertwined tree roots. The spirit of the forest, a majestic being with flowing hair and emerald eyes, appeared before them. "You have proven yourself worthy, Finn," she said. "The golden harp is yours. Use its power wisely and with a pure heart." Finn carefully lifted the golden harp, feeling its magic resonate through him. He thanked the spirit of the forest and began his journey back to Verdantia with Vesper. Along the way, he played the golden harp, and as the enchanting melodies filled the air, dark clouds gathered, and gentle rain began to fall. By the time Finn and Vesper returned to the village, the rain had revived the crops, filled the river, and restored the land's vibrant greenery. The villagers, overjoyed and grateful, welcomed Finn as a hero. They marveled at the golden harp and its miraculous powers, but Finn knew that it was not the harp alone that had saved Verdantia. It was the kindness, courage, and wisdom he had discovered within himself. Finn continued to play his harp, both the wooden one and the golden harp, bringing joy and peace to his village for many years. Vesper stayed by his side as a loyal friend, and the villagers prospered under the gentle melodies that filled the air. And so, the kingdom of Verdantia thrived once more, forever grateful to the young shepherd who had ventured into the Heartwood Forest and returned with the magic of music and the power of a brave heart. The end. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Lumina, nestled between misty mountains and sparkling rivers, there was a peculiar garden known as the Moonlit Garden. The garden was famous for its flowers that only bloomed under the light of the full moon. It was said that these flowers possessed magical properties and could grant a single wish to anyone who found them. In Lumina lived a gentle young woman named Eloan. She was known for her kindness and her love for nature. Despite her content life, Eloan often dreamed of finding the moonlit garden and discovering its secrets. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, she decided to embark on a quest to find the legendary garden and make a wish to help her village, which had been suffering from a mysterious drought. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of hope, Eloan set off towards the forest where the moonlit garden was rumored to be hidden. As she walked, the moonlight cast a silvery glow on the path, guiding her deeper into the woods. After a while, Eloan reached a clearing where the air seemed to shimmer with magic. She saw an ancient oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was decorated with intricate designs that seemed to shift and change in the moonlight. Eloan felt a sense of wonder and excitement as she approached the door. With a deep breath, Eloan opened the door and stepped into a hidden grove bathed in the soft, silvery light of the full moon. The grove was filled with flowers of every color imaginable, their petals glowing like stars in the night sky. At the center of the grove was a large, crystal-clear pond with a delicate bridge arching over it. As Eloan crossed the bridge, she noticed a small, enchanting figure by the edge of the pond. It was a fairy with wings that sparkled like moonbeams. The fairy introduced herself as Luna, the guardian of the moonlit garden. "Welcome, Eloan," Luna said with a twinkle in her eye. "I have been expecting you. The moonlit garden grants one wish to those who find it, but you must first prove your heart's true intention." Eloan nodded, understanding the gravity of the task. "I wish to help my village," she said earnestly. "We are suffering from a terrible drought, and I hope that the garden's magic can restore our land and bring rain." Luna smiled warmly. "Your wish is noble, but to earn the garden's magic, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." The first task was to find the silver blossom, a rare flower that was said to hide itself among the other blooms. Eloan searched the grove, her lantern casting a soft glow. After a while, she noticed that the flowers were whispering to each other. Listening carefully, Eloan followed their guidance and discovered the silver blossom nestled under a cluster of moonlit petals. The second task was to help a family of moon rabbits who had lost their way in the grove. Eloan found the rabbits huddled together, frightened and confused. Using her gentle voice and kind touch, she guided them back to their burrow, where they were safe and warm. The final task was to solve a riddle posed by Luna. The riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter, but you can't go outside. What am I?" Eloan thought deeply and finally answered, "A piano." Luna clapped her hands in delight. "You have completed all the tasks with grace and sincerity. The moonlit garden's magic is now yours to use." With a wave of Luna's hand, a soft, glowing mist enveloped Eloan. The flowers in the garden began to shimmer even brighter, and the pond's water sparkled like liquid silver. Luna handed Eloan a small vial filled with the garden's magic. "Use this vial to bring rain to your village," Luna instructed. "May the magic of the moonlit garden help you in your quest." Eloan thanked Luna and returned to her village, carrying the vial of magical water. As she poured the water over the parched fields, dark clouds gathered in the sky, and gentle rain began to fall. The land absorbed the rain eagerly, and the once dry fields began to turn green and lush. The villagers rejoiced at the sight of the rain, their crops flourishing once more. Eloan's bravery and kindness had saved her village from the drought, and the moonlit garden's magic had restored life to the land. The tale of Eloan's adventure became a cherished story in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in the most unexpected places. And so, the moonlit garden continued to bloom under the light of the full moon, a symbol of hope and wonder, while Eloan lived happily, always ready for new adventures and discoveries. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the mountains touched the sky and the rivers sang lullabies, there lived a young prince named Orion. Orion was brave and kind, beloved by his people. But beyond the kingdom lay the Whispering Woods, a mystical forest filled with secrets and legends. It was said that deep within these woods, there was a hidden grove where the moonlight flower bloomed once every 100 years. This flower had the power to grant one true wish to whoever found it. As fate would have it, the kingdom fell under a terrible curse. The crops withered, the rivers dried up, and an unending darkness loomed over the land. The people grew desperate and turned to Prince Orion for salvation. Remembering the tales of the moonlight flower, Orion vowed to find it and save his kingdom. With a heart full of determination, Orion set out for the Whispering Woods. As he entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets and warnings, but he pressed on. The path was treacherous, and soon he encountered his first challenge, a raging river with no bridge or ford. Desperate, Orion called out for help. To his surprise, a graceful deer appeared. "Why do you seek to cross this river, brave prince?" the deer asked. "I seek the moonlight flower to save my kingdom from a terrible curse," Orion replied. The deer, seeing the sincerity in his eyes, offered to help. "Follow me," it said, leading Orion to a hidden path of stepping stones. Grateful, Orion crossed the river safely and continued his journey. Deeper into the woods, Orion came upon a glade where a fierce griffin was trapped in a net. The creature thrashed and roared, its golden feathers glinting in the dim light. Without hesitation, Orion approached and cut the net, freeing the griffin. "Why did you free me, human?" the griffin asked, its voice a blend of curiosity and gratitude. "Because no creature deserves to be trapped," Orion replied. "I seek the moonlight flower to lift a curse from my kingdom." The griffin, impressed by Orion's bravery and kindness, offered its assistance. "Climb on my back. I will take you to the heart of the Whispering Woods." With the griffin's help, Orion flew over the forest, marveling at the beauty and mystery below. They soon reached a dark, foreboding part of the woods where the trees were twisted and the air thick with magic. In the center stood an ancient, gnarled tree with a hollow trunk. "This is where your final challenge lies," the griffin said. "Inside the tree, you must face your greatest fear." Orion took a deep breath and stepped into the hollow tree. Inside, he was engulfed in darkness, and the whispers of the forest grew louder, turning into taunts and jeers. Shadows formed around him, embodying his deepest fears and doubts. But Orion remembered his purpose and the people he loved. With courage in his heart, he faced the shadows and they dissipated, revealing a hidden passage. At the end of the passage, Orion emerged into a breathtaking grove bathed in silvery moonlight. In the center of the grove bloomed the moonlight flower, its petals shimmering like stars. Overwhelmed with awe, Orion approached the flower and plucked it gently. As he did, the grove filled with a radiant light, and a soothing voice echoed, "You have shown bravery, kindness, and a pure heart. Your wish shall be granted." With the flower in hand, Orion wished for his kingdom to be freed from the curse. Instantly, he was transported back to his kingdom, where the sun was shining, the rivers flowing, and the fields lush with crops. The curse was lifted, and the people rejoiced. Prince Orion's journey became a legend, a tale of courage and kindness that was told for generations. The Whispering Woods remained a place of mystery, but also of hope and magic. And every 100 years, the moonlight flower would bloom again, waiting for another pure-hearted soul to find it. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in the charming village of Everwood, nestled between rolling hills and serene meadows, there lived a skilled seamstress named Clara. Clara was known throughout the village for her beautiful quilts, each stitched with care and brimming with warmth and color. But Clara's most prized possession was an ancient quilt passed down through her family, adorned with intricate patterns and glowing with a faint, magical light. This quilt was said to be enchanted, with the power to grant a single wish to those who used it with a pure heart. But for years, Clara had kept the quilt tucked away, unsure of what to wish for and wanting to preserve its magic for a worthy purpose. One summer, a great drought struck Everwood, causing the crops to wither and the rivers to dry up. The villagers were worried, and Clara, seeing their distress, felt a strong urge to use the quilt's magic to help. But she hesitated, unsure if she was truly deserving of such a powerful gift. One evening, as Clara sat by her sewing table, a wise old owl named Oliver perched on her windowsill. Oliver had seen Clara's kindness and knew of the quilt's magic. "The village needs your help," Oliver hooted softly. "The drought is causing great suffering, and you have the means to make a difference. Use the quilt's magic to restore the land." Clara, moved by Oliver's words, decided it was time to act. She carefully unfolded the enchanted quilt and spread it out in her garden, making sure it was placed under the light of the full moon. As she did, the quilt began to shimmer and glow, casting a soft, silver light over the ground. She took a deep breath and made her wish. "I wish for rain to nourish the land and restore the abundance to Everwood." As soon as Clara finished her wish, a gentle breeze began to blow, and the sky darkened with heavy clouds. The first drops of rain fell, slowly at first, then with increasing intensity. The village's dry fields began to soak up the rain, and the rivers started to flow again. The villagers cheered with joy as they saw the land come back to life. Clara, however, was not finished. She knew that the quilt's magic was not just about making a wish but also about bringing people together. She decided to host a great feast for the entire village to celebrate the return of the rain and to express her gratitude. Clara and the villagers worked together to prepare a grand feast. They filled tables with delicious food, fresh fruits, and hearty dishes. The air was filled with laughter and music as they celebrated their renewed hope and unity. During the feast, Clara shared the story of the enchanted quilt with the villagers. She spoke of its magic and the importance of using such gifts to help others. The villagers were deeply touched by Clara's generosity and the way she had used her wish not just for herself but for the good of all. As the festivities continued, Clara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She realized that the true magic of the quilt was not in the wish it granted but in the way it had brought the community together and restored their spirits. When the celebration came to an end, Clara carefully folded the enchanted quilt and placed it back in its special chest. The quilt's light had dimmed, but its magic remained, woven into the hearts of the villagers and the land it had helped restore. From that day on, Everwood thrived once more, with bountiful harvests and flourishing rivers. The tale of Clara and the enchanted quilt became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of kindness, unity, and the true meaning of magic. And so, Clara lived happily, knowing that she had used the quilt's magic for a noble purpose, and the village of Everwood prospered in peace and harmony. And they all lived happily ever after. In a small, picturesque village called Evergreen, nestled at the edge of a vast, enchanted forest, lived a curious boy named Finn. Finn was known throughout the village for his adventurous spirit and his love for discovering the unknown. His greatest dream was to find a magical artifact rumored to be hidden deep within the forest, a lantern said to grant the pure-hearted a single wish. One sunny morning, as Finn wandered through the village market, he overheard a conversation between two old storytellers. They spoke of the enchanted lantern, which had been lost for centuries. Legends claimed that whoever found it could make a wish to change their life forever. Finn's heart raced with excitement. He decided that he would be the one to find the lantern and make a wish for his village, which had been struggling with a long drought. The journey begins. Finn prepared for his journey with a sturdy backpack, a map of the forest, and a small compass. He also took along his faithful dog, Rusty, who was always by his side. With a determined spirit, Finn set off into the enchanted forest, the trees whispering ancient secrets as he walked. The forest was dense and mysterious, filled with towering trees, winding paths, and strange, glowing plants. As they ventured deeper, Finn and Rusty encountered a series of magical creatures. First, they met a talking squirrel named Nutty, who offered them a riddle to solve in exchange for guidance. "Answer me this," Nutty chattered. "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and replied, "A piano." Nutty nodded, pleased with the answer, and directed them to the path that would lead to the heart of the forest, where the lantern was said to be hidden. The guardian of the lantern, after hours of walking, they reached a clearing where a majestic oak tree stood. At its base was a large, ancient door covered in vines and intricate carvings. This was the entrance to the hidden realm where the enchanted lantern was kept. However, guarding the door was a formidable creature, a gentle giant named Bramble, who was entrusted with protecting the lantern from those unworthy. Bramble, though large and imposing, had a kind heart. He explained that to enter, Finn would have to prove his worthiness by showing courage, kindness, and wisdom. Bramble presented 3 challenges: a test of bravery, a test of kindness, and a test of wisdom. The 3 challenges: 1. The test of bravery *. Bramble led Finn to a dark, eerie cave where a mystical creature known as the Shadow Beast lurked. Finn was to retrieve a magical flower from within the cave. With Rusty by his side, Finn bravely entered the cave, his heart pounding. The Shadow Beast, sensing his courage, revealed itself to be a misunderstood guardian rather than a foe. The beast was trapped and needed help. Finn, showing compassion, freed the beast from its magical chains, and in return, the beast led him to the flower. 2. The test of kindness *. Next, Finn and Rusty came across a group of lost forest sprites who were hungry and tired. Instead of continuing on his quest, Finn used his provisions to feed and care for the sprites. Grateful, the sprites bestowed upon him a gift, a vial of stardust that would light the way through the darkest paths. 3. The test of wisdom * For the final test, Bramble presented Finn with a puzzle, a series of symbols that needed to be matched with their meanings. With Rusty's help and the Stardust Vial's guidance, Finn carefully solved the puzzle, revealing the correct answers. Having passed all 3 tests, Bramble was convinced of Finn's worthiness and allowed him to enter the Hidden Realm. The enchanted lantern inside the realm, the enchanted lantern glowed softly on a pedestal surrounded by shimmering mist. Finn approached the lantern and made his wish, to bring rain and restore prosperity to his village. The lantern's light brightened and a gentle rain began to fall outside the realm. With the lantern's magic, Finn and Rusty returned to Evergreen, where the rain continued to pour, quenching the parched earth. The village flourished once again, the crops grew, and the rivers flowed with fresh, clean water. The villagers celebrated Finn's bravery and kindness, and he was hailed as a hero. A lasting legacy. The enchanted lantern, having fulfilled its purpose, returned to its resting place in the Hidden Realm, waiting for the next worthy seeker. Finn's story became a cherished legend in Evergreen, reminding everyone of the power of courage, kindness, and wisdom. As for Finn, he continued to explore and adventure, always guided by the lessons he had learned. The village thrived under the blessing of the rain, and the memory of the enchanted lantern lived on in the hearts of all who heard the tale. And so, in the vibrant village of Evergreen, peace and prosperity reigned, thanks to the bravery and kindness of a young boy and his loyal dog. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and flowering meadows, there was a humble cottage where an elderly woman named Granny Esme lived. Granny Esme was known throughout the village for her exquisite quilts, which were said to hold magical powers. Each quilt was rumored to weave dreams into reality and bring comfort and joy to those who used them. One chilly winter, a heavy snowfall blanketed the village, and the villagers noticed something unusual. Granny Esme's quilts had lost their vibrant colors and warmth. The once merry village seemed to be enveloped in a gray, melancholic fog, and Granny Esme herself appeared troubled. In the heart of the village lived a brave and kind-hearted young boy named Finn. Finn loved Granny Esme's stories about her magical quilts and was determined to find out why the village had lost its cheer. He approached Granny Esme and offered to help restore the magic to her quilts. With a weary smile, Granny Esme explained, "The magic of my quilts comes from a rare gem known as the Heartstone. It has gone missing, and without it, the quilts have lost their enchantment. To find the Heartstone and restore its magic, you must embark on a journey to the Whispering Forest, face 3 challenges, and prove that you have a heart full of courage and kindness." The first challenge, the Enchanted Meadow. Finn set out on his quest and arrived at the Enchanted Meadow, a vibrant field filled with talking flowers and playful butterflies. As he wandered through the meadow, he met a wise old dandelion with a golden glow. To pass through the meadow, the dandelion said, "You must solve this riddle. What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and you can play it but not touch it?" Finn thought carefully and replied, "A piano." The dandelion's golden glow brightened, and a path through the meadow was revealed. Finn followed the path, feeling a sense of accomplishment and hope. The second challenge, the River of Reflection. The path led Finn to the River of Reflection, a serene river with waters that mirrored the sky and the surrounding trees. The river was guarded by a graceful swan whose feathers sparkled like stars. To cross this river, the swan said, "You must demonstrate your wisdom. Answer this question: what can be cracked, made, told, and played?" Finn pondered the question and answered, "A joke." The swan's feathers shimmered with approval, and it created a bridge of light across the river. Finn crossed the river, feeling more confident and determined. The third challenge, the Cave of Echoes. On the other side of the river, Finn entered the Cave of Echoes, a grand cavern filled with shimmering crystals that reflected light in mesmerizing patterns. At the center of the cave stood an ancient door adorned with intricate symbols. A gentle voice echoed through the cave, "To unlock this door and find the Heartstone, you must show your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Finn took a deep breath and spoke honestly, "My deepest wish is to restore the magic of Granny Esme's quilts, so that the village can once again be filled with joy and warmth." The cave's walls glowed with a soft, golden light, and the ancient door creaked open to reveal a glowing Heartstone nestled on a pedestal. Finn approached the Heartstone and carefully took it in his hands. The revelation, restoring the magic. With the Heartstone in hand, Finn returned to Granny Esme's cottage. As he placed the Heartstone into the center of the quilt, its magic was rekindled. The quilt began to shimmer with vibrant colors, and a warm, comforting light filled the room. The village awoke to a transformation. The gray fog lifted, and the once muted landscape was bathed in vibrant colors and warmth. The villagers rejoiced, their spirits lifted by the restored magic of Granny Esme's quilts. Granny Esme thanked Finn for his bravery and kindness, and the tale of his quest became a cherished story in the village. The quilts once again brought comfort and joy to the people, and Finn's courageous heart was celebrated as a symbol of hope and determination. Under the renewed magic of the enchanted quilt, the village thrived in warmth and happiness, forever grateful for the young boy who had restored their cheer and magic. Once upon a time, in a coastal village called Seabreeze, there stood a magnificent lighthouse at the edge of a rocky cliff. This lighthouse was not only a guide for sailors but also a source of magical light that kept the village safe from stormy seas and hidden dangers. In this village lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was known for her curiosity and love for the sea. Every day, she would explore the shores, collecting seashells and dreaming of adventures beyond the horizon. Her greatest wish was to one day climb to the top of the lighthouse and see the world from its magnificent view. One evening, a fierce storm rolled into Seabreeze. The winds howled, and the sea churned violently. As the storm raged, the lighthouse's light began to flicker and dim, casting a shadow of fear over the village. The villagers gathered, worried that the lighthouse's magic was failing. Isla, feeling a deep sense of responsibility, decided to find out what was wrong. She made her way through the storm to the lighthouse, determined to restore its light. With each step, the wind howled and the rain pelted down, but Isla's resolve was unwavering. When she reached the lighthouse, she discovered that the great lantern at the top was shrouded in an eerie, dark fog. Isla knew she had to find a way to clear the fog and restore the light. Remembering the tales her grandmother had told her, she recalled that the lighthouse was guarded by a magical sea spirit named Thalassa, who could only be summoned in times of great need. With the storm raging around her, Isla climbed the spiral staircase to the top of the lighthouse. As she reached the lantern room, she saw Thalassa, a graceful spirit with shimmering blue hair and eyes like the deep sea. "Welcome, brave Isla," Thalassa said with a voice like the soothing sound of waves. "I see you have come to save the lighthouse." Isla nodded. "The light is fading, and the storm is growing worse. How can I help?" Thalassa explained, "The lighthouse's magic is tied to the sea and the moon. The storm has disturbed the balance. You must restore it by finding the 3 lost moonstones, which have been scattered across the ocean. Each moonstone holds a piece of the lighthouse's power." Without hesitation, Isla agreed to the task. Thalassa gave her a magical compass that would guide her to the moonstones. With a burst of courage, Isla set out into the stormy sea, guided by the compass and her determination. The first moonstone was hidden in a submerged cavern. Isla dove into the turbulent waters and, with the help of her underwater breathing charm given by Thalassa, she navigated through the cavern. There, amidst the glowing coral and sea creatures, she found the first moonstone nestled in an ancient chest. The second moonstone was located on the back of a giant sea turtle. Isla spotted the turtle amidst the waves and, with great care, she retrieved the moonstone from its shell, all while making sure not to harm the gentle creature. The final moonstone was hidden in the heart of a swirling whirlpool. Using all her strength and skill, Isla navigated the whirlpool's treacherous currents and grasped the moonstone from the depths, feeling a surge of magical energy as she did. With the 3 moonstones safely in her possession, Isla returned to the lighthouse. The storm had calmed slightly, and she climbed back up to the lantern room. Thalassa awaited her, and together they placed the moonstones into the lantern's base. As the moonstones were set in place, a brilliant light burst forth, cutting through the darkness and dispelling the fog. The lighthouse's magic was restored, and its light shone more brightly than ever before. The storm subsided, and the sea grew calm once more. The villagers of Seabreeze celebrated Isla's bravery and the return of the lighthouse's light. They honored her with a grand feast and declared her the guardian of the lighthouse. From that day on, Isla continued to explore the sea and protect the lighthouse, and Thalassa remained as a friend and ally. And so, the lighthouse stood tall, guiding sailors safely home and shining its light far and wide. Isla's courage became a legend, inspiring others to face their fears and seek out the magic within their hearts. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great, ancient forest, there was a tree known as the Whispering Tree. It was said that the tree could speak to those who approached it with a pure heart and a humble wish. The villagers believed that the tree held secrets and magic that could change their lives. In the village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his kindness and his love for helping others. Despite his humble means, he always tried to bring joy to those around him. The village, however, was struggling with a harsh winter, and many of the villagers were facing hardships. Finn wanted to do something to help, but he didn't know where to start. One snowy morning, as Finn walked through the village, he overheard the village elder speaking about the Whispering Tree. The elder mentioned that the tree had not been visited for many years, and its magic might be the key to bringing relief to their struggling village. Determined to find a way to help, Finn set out to find the Whispering Tree. He wrapped himself in a warm cloak and braved the cold, following the winding path into the heart of the ancient forest. The snow crunched beneath his boots, and the trees stood tall and silent, their branches heavy with frost. After a long and arduous journey, Finn finally reached a clearing where the Whispering Tree stood. The tree was enormous, with branches that seemed to touch the sky and leaves that shimmered with a faint, silver glow. Finn approached the tree with reverence and said softly, "Great Whispering Tree, I have come to seek your help for my village. We are suffering, and I wish to bring them relief." As Finn spoke, the tree's leaves rustled gently, and a soothing voice emerged from the trunk. "Young Finn, to grant your wish, you must prove your heart's true desire. There are 3 trials you must complete, each testing your kindness, courage, and wisdom." Finn nodded, ready to accept the challenge. The first trial was the trial of kindness. The tree guided Finn to a small, icy stream where he found a family of ducks struggling to find food. Their pond had frozen over, and they were hungry. Finn used his scarf to create a makeshift feeding area and gathered some seeds and crumbs to feed the ducks. The family of ducks quacked gratefully, and Finn felt a warm glow of satisfaction. The second trial was the trial of courage. The Whispering Tree led Finn to a dark, foreboding cave where a mysterious, magical creature was said to dwell. Inside the cave, Finn encountered a timid, glowing fox caught in a net. Though the cave was dark and eerie, Finn approached the fox with bravery, freeing it from the net and calming its fears. The fox, now free, showed Finn a hidden path back to the forest's edge. The final trial was the trial of wisdom. The Whispering Tree presented Finn with a riddle carved into a stone, *, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Star." Finn pondered the riddle carefully and soon realized the answer. "A fire," he said with confidence. The tree's branches rustled approvingly, and a soft, Radiant light enveloped Finn. With all 3 trials completed, the Whispering Tree spoke once more. You have shown kindness, courage, and wisdom. Your heart is true. I will grant your wish. The tree's magic swirled around Finn, and a gentle, sparkling snow began to fall from its branches. The snow carried a magical warmth that spread through the forest, melting the frost and bringing a gentle springtime breeze to the village. Finn returned to his village to find that the harsh winter had lifted, and the land was now fertile and lush. The villagers were amazed and overjoyed, their hardships eased by the unexpected miracle. Finn shared his story of the Whispering Tree and the trials he had faced. From that day on, the village flourished, and Finn's kindness was celebrated. The Whispering Tree became a symbol of hope and renewal, and the tale of Finn's bravery and the magical trials was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within. And so, the village thrived once more, its fields rich and its people joyful, forever grateful for the heart of a young boy who sought to bring light and warmth to those in need. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky was always painted in hues of twilight, there was a hidden kingdom called Lunaria. Lunaria was a wondrous place, where the moon's light bathed the land in a silvery glow, and every night was filled with gentle luminescence. The kingdom was ruled by Queen Selene, a wise and kind ruler who was known for her beauty and her deep connection with the moon. In the heart of Lunaria stood the Moonlit Palace, an elegant castle made of moonstone and silver, where the queen lived with her daughter, Princess Lyra. Lyra was a curious and adventurous young girl who loved exploring the enchanted forests and shimmering lakes of Lunaria. Though she cherished her home, she longed to discover the secrets of the world beyond the kingdom's borders. One evening, as the moon hung low and full in the sky, a mysterious figure appeared in the palace garden. It was a wandering minstrel named Elian, who had come from a distant land. Elian was known for his beautiful music and tales of faraway lands. He sang a song about a magical flower that bloomed only once every 100 years, known as the Midnight Blossom. According to legend, the Midnight Blossom had the power to grant one true wish to anyone who found it. Princess Lyra was enchanted by Elian's tale and decided that she wanted to find the Midnight Blossom and make a wish for the people of Lunaria to have everlasting happiness. With her mother's blessing, she set off on a journey with Elian, who agreed to be her guide. The journey took them through the Silver Forest, a dense woodland filled with towering trees whose leaves sparkled like stars. The forest was known for its enchantments and illusions. As they ventured deeper, the path seemed to twist and turn, and strange creatures of light and shadow danced around them. Their first challenge was a labyrinth of mirrors. Each mirror showed a different reflection, making it difficult to find the true path. Elian, with his musical skills, played a melody that calmed the reflections, allowing them to find their way through the labyrinth. The enchanted lake beyond the forest lay the enchanted lake, a vast body of shimmering water. To cross the lake, they needed to use the moonlit boats that only appeared at night. As they waited for the boats, they encountered a kindly water nymph named Maris, who was guarding the lake. Maris explained that they could only cross if they solved a riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lyra thought for a moment and answered, fire. Maris smiled and granted them passage. They boarded a moonlit boat and sailed across the lake, the water glowing under the moon's soft light. The Mountain of Echoes on the other side of the lake, they reached the base of the Mountain of Echoes, a towering peak shrouded in mist. The Midnight Blossom was said to grow on the mountain's highest peak. The climb was steep and treacherous, and the air was thin and cold. As they climbed, they were confronted by a fierce storm of winds and ice. The storm was the work of a jealous spirit who didn't want anyone to find the Midnight Blossom. Elian's music had the power to soothe the storm, and with Lyra's courage, they pressed on through the tempest. The Midnight Blossom finally, they reached the summit, where the Midnight Blossom was said to bloom. The flower glowed with an ethereal light, its petals shimmering like silver. However, the flower was guarded by a wise old dragon named Draconis. Draconis tested Lyra's heart with a series of questions about her intentions. He wanted to ensure that her wish was selfless and pure. Lyra spoke from the heart, expressing her desire to bring happiness to her people and to share the joy she had found on her journey. Moved by her sincerity, Draconis allowed her to take the midnight blossom. Lyra made her wish for the eternal happiness of her people, and as she did, a radiant light spread across the land of Lunaria. The magic of the midnight blossom enhanced the moon's glow, filling the kingdom with a new, everlasting brilliance. The return to Lunaria. Lyra and Elian returned to Lunaria, greeted by the joyous celebration of the people. The kingdom's happiness was palpable, and the moonlight seemed even more magical than before. Queen Selene praised her daughter's bravery and kindness. Elian decided to stay in Lunaria, enchanted by the beauty of the kingdom and the warmth of its people. He became a beloved figure, sharing stories and songs that kept the magic of the midnight blossom alive in the hearts of the people. And so, the tale of Princess Lyra and her quest for the midnight blossom became a cherished legend in Lunaria. The kingdom thrived under the everlasting moonlight, a symbol of the joy that comes from a selfless heart and the magic of a wish fulfilled. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom shrouded in mist and mystery, there was a small village called Everbrook, nestled in the valley of the Whispering Mountains. This village was known for its lush meadows and sparkling streams, but it had a secret hidden deep within the mountains, a place called the Crystal Cavern. The cavern was said to be filled with magical crystals that could grant any wish, but it was also guarded by a fearsome dragon. Among the villagers was a brave young girl named Lila. Lila had always been fascinated by the legends of the Crystal Cavern, especially the tales of a rare, star-shaped crystal that could bring great joy and prosperity. Her family was poor, and despite their hard work, they struggled to make ends meet. Lila dreamed of finding the star-shaped crystal to help her family and her village. One chilly winter evening, as Lila sat by the fire reading an old book of legends, she stumbled upon a map hidden between the pages. The map depicted a path leading to the Crystal Cavern, marked with strange symbols and warnings about the dragon. Lila felt a surge of determination. She knew that the journey would be perilous, but she was ready to face the challenge for the sake of her family. The next morning, Lila packed a small bag with provisions, a lantern, and a sturdy rope. She bid farewell to her family, who were worried but proud of her bravery. Lila set off into the mountains, guided by the map and her unwavering resolve. The path was treacherous, with steep cliffs and narrow ledges, but Lila pressed on. As night fell, she reached a hidden entrance to the cavern, marked by ancient runes glowing faintly in the darkness. She lit her lantern and stepped inside. The cavern was a breathtaking sight. Walls of glittering crystals bathed in a soft, ethereal light. The air was filled with a soothing hum, as if the crystals were singing. Lila followed the map's instructions, navigating through the labyrinthine tunnels with a mix of awe and trepidation. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the cavern, and a massive dragon emerged from the shadows. Its scales shimmered like 1,000 gems, and its eyes glowed with an intense, fiery light. Lila's heart pounded in her chest, but she stood her ground. The dragon spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "Who dares enter my domain?" "I am Lila from Everbrook," she said bravely. "I have come in search of the star-shaped crystal. My family and my village need it." The dragon's eyes softened slightly as it observed Lila. "Many have come before you seeking the crystal, but none have succeeded. What makes you different?" Lila took a deep breath and replied, "I am not seeking the crystal for myself. I want to help my family and my village. If you can see that my heart is true, please, allow me to take the crystal." The dragon stared at her for a long moment before speaking again. "Very well. I will test your heart's purity. You must answer this riddle. What is the light that shines brightest in the dark, the warmth that soothes the cold, and the bond that holds hearts together?" Lila thought carefully, remembering her family and her village. With a gentle smile, she answered, "Love." The dragon's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered wisely. The star-shaped crystal is yours." The dragon gestured with its massive claw, and a hidden chamber revealed itself, containing the star-shaped crystal. Lila carefully took the crystal and thanked the dragon for its kindness. With the crystal in hand, Lila made her way back to Everbrook. The journey was long and exhausting, but she felt a sense of fulfillment. When she returned, she placed the crystal in the center of the village square. As its light spread, it brought warmth and prosperity to Everbrook. The once struggling village flourished with abundance, and the villagers celebrated Lila's bravery and selflessness. From that day on, Lila was known as the heroine of Everbrook. The tale of her journey to the Crystal Cavern became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of love and the courage to follow one's heart. And so, under the gentle light of the star-shaped crystal, once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a dense, enchanted forest, there was a humble clockmaker named Mr. Elwood. His shop was filled with all sorts of timepieces, from grand clocks with ornate pendulums to delicate pocket watches. But the most extraordinary thing about Mr. Elwood's shop was a special clock that stood in the center of the room. It was said to have magical powers, for it could control the flow of time itself. Mr. Elwood had an apprentice named Tom, a bright and curious young boy with a passion for clockmaking. Tom admired the master's craftsmanship and dreamed of one day creating a timepiece as magnificent as the special clock in the shop. However, Mr. Elwood always kept the secrets of that clock closely guarded. One stormy night, a mysterious figure cloaked in darkness visited the shop. The figure demanded the special clock, claiming it was the key to unlocking a hidden treasure. Mr. Elwood refused, insisting that the clock's magic should never fall into the wrong hands. As the stranger departed, he cast a dark spell, causing the special clock to lose its power and stop ticking. The next morning, the village awoke to find that time had become chaotic. The sun rose and set unpredictably, and the villagers struggled to keep track of their daily routines. Seeing the distress of the villagers, Tom decided to take matters into his own hands. He was determined to restore the special clock and return order to time. Tom approached Mr. Elwood, who was distraught over the loss of the clock's magic. "Master Elwood, please teach me how to fix the clock," Tom pleaded. "I want to help restore balance to our village." Mr. Elwood looked at Tom with a mixture of pride and concern. "Very well, Tom. To restore the special clock, you must embark on a quest to retrieve 3 magical components hidden throughout the enchanted forest. Only with these components can the clock regain its power." Tom set out on his quest, guided by a map Mr. Elwood provided. The map led him to 3 locations within the forest, each guarded by a challenge. The first location was a shimmering pond guarded by a clever water sprite. To retrieve the first component, Tom had to solve a riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have eyes, but I see. I don't have a mouth, but I need water to live. What am I?" Tom thought for a moment and answered, "A reflection." The water sprite, impressed, handed over the first component, a crystal vial of moonlit water. Next, Tom ventured deeper into the forest, where he encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. The second component was hidden in a dense thicket guarded by the owl. To gain access, Tom had to answer another riddle. "I have keys but open no doors. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go inside. What am I?" With a smile, Tom replied, "A piano." The owl nodded and gave Tom the second component, a gleaming silver key. Finally, Tom arrived at a clearing where a mischievous group of forest gnomes guarded the last component. The gnomes challenged Tom to a game of riddles. If he won, they would give him the final component. If he lost, they would keep it hidden forever. The riddle they posed was, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Tom thought hard and answered, "A joke." The gnomes cheered and handed over the last component, a golden compass with a needle that always pointed toward hope. With all 3 components in hand, Tom returned to the shop and presented them to Mr. Elwood. The old clockmaker guided Tom through the intricate process of reassembling the special clock, using the magical components to restore its power. As the final component was placed, the special clock began to tick again, its hands moving in perfect harmony. The magic flowed through the village, bringing time back to its normal rhythm. the sun and moon resumed their proper courses, and the villagers rejoiced. Tom's bravery and resourcefulness had saved the village from chaos, and Mr. Elwood was proud of his apprentice. The special clock was once again a symbol of harmony and balance. And Tom continued to learn from Mr. Elwood, growing into a skilled clockmaker in his own right. The village celebrated Tom's heroism, and the tale of the clockmaker's apprentice became a cherished story, reminding everyone that even the smallest person can make a big difference with courage and determination. Once upon a time, in a kingdom not found on any map, there was a realm of gears and magic called Clockwork. This land was ruled by a wise and kind-hearted queen named Elara. Queen Elara was no ordinary monarch, she had a special gift. Her heart was connected to the kingdom's grand clock, a magnificent timepiece that ticked rhythmically at the center of the capital city. This clock wasn't just for telling time, it governed the very essence of magic in the land. The kingdom thrived in harmony, thanks to the clock. Every tick brought a fresh bloom of flowers, and every talk sent a gentle breeze to cool the land. However, this perfect balance was threatened one fateful day when a mysterious shadowy figure appeared at the edge of the kingdom. This figure was none other than an envious sorcerer named Malachi, who had longed for the magic of the Clockwork Kingdom. He harbored a dark spell that could halt the grand clock's gears, plunging the land into chaos. Disguised as a humble traveler, Malachi entered the kingdom and managed to slip into the palace unnoticed. There, he whispered his spell into the heart of the clock. As the spell took hold, the once harmonious ticking of the clock began to falter. Flowers wilted, and the breeze turned into a harsh wind. Queen Elara, sensing the imbalance, knew that something was terribly wrong. She called upon her trusted advisor, a clever mechanical owl named Hoot, and together they set out to find the source of the disturbance. Hoot's mechanical eyes scanned the kingdom's clockwork machinery while Elara used her magic to sense the disruption. They soon discovered the dark enchantment at the heart of the clock. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Elara and Hoot needed to act quickly to save their beloved kingdom. They set out on a perilous journey to find the only thing that could break Malachi's spell, a legendary artifact known as the Crystal Key. This key was said to be hidden deep within the enchanted forest, guarded by ancient beings and tricky puzzles. The enchanted forest was no ordinary woodland. Its trees whispered secrets, and its paths shifted with every step. Elara and Hoot ventured deeper into the forest, facing numerous challenges. They solved riddles posed by talking animals, navigated through shifting illusions, and even braved the trials of the Forest Guardian, a majestic stag with eyes like glowing emeralds. At the heart of the forest, they finally reached the hidden sanctuary where the crystal key lay. It was a radiant gem that pulsed with a soft, inviting glow. But to retrieve it, they needed to answer one final riddle posed by the Guardian: what binds time and magic together, yet never can be seen? Elara thought deeply, her mind racing through the magical principles she had learned over the years. Then it struck her, "It is the essence of balance," she exclaimed. The Guardian's eyes sparkled with approval, and the crystal key floated into her hands. With the crystal key in their possession, Elara and Hoot raced back to the kingdom. As they approached the grand clock, Malachi reappeared, furious at their success. He tried to unleash his dark magic once more, but Elara was ready. She used the crystal key to counteract the spell, and with a surge of magic, the grand clock began to tick smoothly once again. The kingdom's harmony was restored. Flowers bloomed, and the breeze became gentle once more. Malachi, realizing he was defeated, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. Queen Elara and Hoot were celebrated as heroes. The kingdom rejoiced in their restored magic and balance. From that day on, the grand clock continued its steady rhythm, and the people of Clockwork lived in peace and prosperity. And as for Elara, she never forgot the lesson that balance was the key to harmony, and that even in times of darkness, courage and wisdom could restore the light. And so, in the enchanted land of Clockwork, time ticked on, carrying with it the magic of harmony in the legacy of a brave queen and her loyal friend. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint kingdom nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was a beautiful forest known as Everwood. Everwood was no ordinary forest. It was home to magical creatures and plants that glowed with an ethereal light. The most precious treasure of Everwood was a brilliant star that hung above the forest like a luminous guardian, keeping the forest safe and vibrant. One day, as the forest creatures prepared for the annual Moonlight Festival, a dark cloud swept over Everwood. The star, which had always shone brightly, began to dim. Panic spread among the animals as they realized that the star was missing from its place in the sky. The wise old owl, Ali, called an emergency meeting. "We must find the star and bring it back before the Moonlight Festival begins," Ali hooted. "Otherwise, Everwood will lose its magic and fall into darkness." Among the forest's inhabitants was a brave young fox named Fern. Though small, Fern was known for her cleverness and unyielding courage. She stepped forward and volunteered to find the missing star. Ali gave her a shimmering map that showed the forest's hidden paths and landmarks. Fern set off on her quest, guided by the map and the whispers of the forest. Her first stop was the enchanted stream, a place where the water sparkled like diamonds. There, she met a wise old turtle named Tiberius. "The star is in grave danger," Tiberius said with a slow, deliberate voice. "It was stolen by the Shadow Sorcerer, a dark figure who resides in the Cursed Cavern. You must seek his help to find the star." Fern thanked Tiberius and continued her journey, heading toward the Cursed Cavern. The cavern was known for its twisting tunnels and eerie shadows. As Fern approached, she saw the entrance covered in thick, black vines. Summoning her courage, she pushed through and entered the cavern. Inside, the cavern was filled with echoes and shadows. Fern carefully made her way through the dark tunnels until she reached a large chamber. In the center of the chamber sat the Shadow Sorcerer, a mysterious figure cloaked in darkness. The sorcerer held the star, which had lost its brilliance and now glowed dimly. "Why have you taken the star?" Fern asked, trying to sound brave. The Shadow Sorcerer looked at Fern with tired eyes. "I did not want to steal it. The star's light was fading because of the darkness that has settled in my heart. I wanted to hold it close to see if I could restore its light." Fern felt sympathy for the sorcerer. "But the star belongs to Everwood. It keeps the forest alive. Without it, the forest will lose its magic." The sorcerer sighed. "I understand now. I will return the star, but only if you can help me with one thing. I need to find a way to heal the darkness in my heart." Fern thought for a moment and then said, "There is a special flower in the heart of Everwood called the Moonlight Blossom. It has the power to heal and restore. If we find it, we might be able to help you." Together, Fern and the Shadow Sorcerer journeyed back to Everwood. With the sorcerer's help, they navigated through the forest and found the Moonlight Blossom glowing softly under the light of the full moon. The sorcerer held the blossom close, and its gentle light began to fill him with warmth and peace. As the darkness in his heart faded, the star's light grew brighter and more vibrant. Fern took the star and placed it back in the sky, where it shone even more brightly than before. With the star restored, Everwood was once again bathed in its magical glow. The forest celebrated the Moonlight Festival with great joy, and the Shadow Sorcerer, now transformed by the light of the Moonlight Blossom, was welcomed as a friend. Fern was hailed as a hero, and the forest creatures were grateful for her bravery and kindness. The sorcerer promised to protect Everwood and to use his powers for good from that day forward. And so, Everwood continued to thrive, glowing with the star's light and the magic of friendship. Fern's courage had not only saved the forest but had also brought a lost soul back into the light. Once upon a time, in the heart of a quaint village nestled between rolling hills, there was a clockmaker named Tobias. Tobias was known for his skill in crafting the most intricate and beautiful clocks, each one more marvelous than the last. His workshop, filled with the rhythmic ticking of countless clocks, was a place of wonder and delight. One chilly winter's night, as Tobias was working on a particularly elaborate clock, a mysterious old woman appeared at his door. She was draped in a cloak of midnight blue, and her eyes sparkled like stars. In her hands, she held a delicate, silver pocket watch that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the workshop. "I have heard of your skill," the old woman said with a voice as smooth as velvet. "And I have a special request." Tobias, intrigued, invited her inside. The old woman explained that the pocket watch was no ordinary timepiece, it was a magical clock that could control the flow of time. However, it had been broken for centuries, and she needed Tobias's expertise to repair it. "The watch is enchanted," she said, "and it holds the power to alter time itself. It belongs to the timekeeper, a guardian of the time realms. It must be repaired before the next full moon, or the balance of time will be disrupted." Tobias, though unsure of the magic involved, agreed to take on the challenge. He carefully examined the pocket watch, noticing that it had intricate engravings of stars and constellations. As he worked, he felt a strange sensation, as if the very fabric of time was intertwined with the watch. Days passed, and Tobias worked tirelessly, his hands moving with practiced precision. He could feel the watch's magic guiding him, and with each adjustment, the faint glow of the watch grew brighter. The village buzzed with curiosity about the mysterious visitor and the extraordinary task Tobias was undertaking. As the full moon approached, Tobias completed his work. The pocket watch now ticked with a steady, harmonious rhythm, and its glow illuminated the workshop with a soft, golden light. The old woman returned, her eyes filled with gratitude and relief. "You have done it," she said. "The watch is now restored, and the balance of time is preserved. But there is one more thing." She opened the watch, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a tiny, shimmering star. "This star holds a piece of the timekeeper's essence," she explained. "I wish to give it to you as a token of appreciation for your bravery and skill." Tobias accepted the star, feeling its warmth and gentle energy. The old woman smiled and said, "With this star, you will always have a touch of magic in your life. And remember, time is precious, cherish every moment." With that, the old woman vanished into the night, leaving behind a sense of wonder and magic. Tobias kept the star safe in his workshop, and it became a symbol of his extraordinary adventure. As the years went by, Tobias's clocks continued to bring joy and wonder to the village, and he lived a fulfilling life. The star reminded him of the magical night and the lesson it carried, that time is a treasure, and the moments we cherish are what truly shape our lives. And so, the tale of the enchanted clockmaker and the magical pocket watch became a cherished story in the village, passed down through generations. The villagers remembered Tobias not only for his skill in crafting clocks but for his courage and the magic he brought into their lives. Once upon a time, in a cozy village surrounded by lush meadows and rolling hills, there stood an ancient willow tree at the edge of the forest. The villagers called it the Whispering Willow because it was said to grant wishes to those who truly needed help. In this village lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was kind-hearted and always helped her neighbors, but her own family was struggling. Her parents were ill, and her small garden, which provided their food, had failed to yield any crops for months. One crisp autumn evening, Clara decided to visit the Whispering Willow, hoping it could help her family. As she approached the towering tree, its branches swayed gently, even though there was no breeze. Clara stood quietly and closed her eyes, whispering her wish into the rustling leaves. "Oh, Whispering Willow, please help my family. We are in great need. I ask for your help to make our garden grow and for my parents to regain their strength." As Clara finished her plea, she felt a gentle hand touch her shoulder. She turned to see a small, elderly woman with twinkling eyes and a warm smile. "I am Willow, the guardian of this tree," the woman said softly. "I heard your wish, Clara. To help your family, you must first embark on a journey to find 3 magical items hidden in the forest. Only then will the Whispering Willow be able to grant your wish." Clara nodded, determined to help her family. Willow handed her a small, golden compass. "This will guide you on your journey. Follow its directions, and you will find what you seek." With the compass in hand, Clara ventured into the forest. The trees were thick, and the path was often hidden, but the compass glowed softly, guiding her through the forest. After a few hours, Clara came across a clearing where a sparkling pond lay. In the middle of the pond, on a small island, was a golden lily. Clara knew this was the first item she needed. She carefully crossed the pond on stepping stones and picked the golden lily, which shimmered brightly. As she continued her journey, the compass led Clara deeper into the forest, to a cave covered in glowing moss. Inside, a magical blue stone lay on a pedestal, surrounded by gently humming fireflies. Clara knew this was the second item. She carefully picked up the stone, and the fireflies danced around her in delight. Finally, the compass guided Clara to the heart of the forest, where an ancient oak tree stood. Hanging from its branches was a crystal-clear bottle filled with a glowing liquid. Clara understood this was the final item she needed. She gently took the bottle, feeling its warmth in her hands. With all three magical items secured, Clara made her way back to the Whispering Willow. Willow greeted her with a smile and took the items, placing them carefully at the base of the tree. The golden lily, the blue stone, and the glowing bottle are all that is needed, Willow said. Now, make your wish once more. Clara closed her eyes and repeated her wish for her family's well-being. As she spoke, the Whispering Willow's branches began to glow with a soft, golden light. The light spread across the village, bathing everything in a warm, soothing glow. The next morning, Clara returned home to find her parents feeling much better. The garden, once barren, was now full of lush, green vegetables and vibrant flowers. The village was abuzz with excitement, and the villagers marveled at the miraculous change. Clara's family was overjoyed, and they thanked Clara for her bravery and determination. The village celebrated with a grand feast, and the Whispering Willow was honored with a beautiful flower garden around its base. From that day on, Clara continued to help her neighbors, and her family thrived. The Whispering Willow remained a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that kindness and perseverance could bring about the most wonderful changes. And so, Clara's days were filled with joy and gratitude, knowing that the magic of the Whispering Willow had touched her life and the lives of those she loved.